Justin Horo, joined as always by the Triple OG, Willie Mason. Mace, well, big week, brother.
It is, man.
Plenty to chat about, not only what we did last week, but what we have moving forward. This is a massive show, and we had a massive episode, mate. We finally got to 10K subscribers. Shout out to the Mad Cow. Celebrated the 10K all together. Had a bit of a group hug up there with 71,000 views on our Game Reacts, Origin 2 Reacts episode. So I just want to kick this one off, Mace, a little bit differently. He's one of those guys that just never really gets the love. He's always been behind the scenes. You know how important he is. Our little mate Lukey there behind. A lot of people associate Network Levels podcast with just me and you. Not a lot of people know that Lukey's not only a producer, but he's our partner with this.
Yeah, business partners.
And I just wanted to give him a shout out. I know he probably gets a little bit embarrassed with shit like
Love
this.
Love you, Lukey.
But Lukey, we're getting the thumbs up there. We wouldn't have done that episode in Townsville if it wasn't for Lukey. So he's been honest. If it's not, if it's not obviously organising the potty, everything that you've done, or the sponsorship ambassadorship wouldn't mean shit with us two right here, because we don't know what to do. We don't know how to edit. We don't know how to cut all that shit up. Also with his contacts, organising this with Triple M up there with Reverend Lovejoy, aka Elliot. But to see the video go as well as it did, with Lukey coming up with the concept, understanding how important it was to get it up, just want to give Lukey a big shout out.
Tough carry too.
Lukey, if I could edit it and chop it up, I would for you, but I can't. So I know you probably won't chop it up yourself. But the one thing I'm taking out of this, obviously, if you're watching this for the first time, you don't know who Lukey is, you don't know who I am, you probably know who Mace is. We have 71,000 views on the last episode. So if you're doubling down, you're following back, you want to keep following us on this episode, it's really important that you subscribe to this channel. We're building this. We've been building this for the last 3 or 4 months. We're at 10,000, 10K easy now, 10.7, 10,700. Suppose the next goal now, OG, 20.
20, yeah.
Let's go straight to 20. And if that's 71,000 views from our Origin Reacts episode, so we need roughly just 25, 30% of them. I'm not even looking for 30. Let's just get a nice 10%. That's 7,000 people who are watching us, who are new to the journey with us here at Levels Network, Levels Podcast. And keep following us for the year. For all those people that are just jumping on, we've only been doing this for 3 months. So we're building into this. We want you to be a part of our journey. And again, big shout out to our guy, Lukey, Mace.
Yeah. No, Lukey does a lot of stuff. As I said, as you said, we all work good as a team, you know?
Yep.
So that's the main thing.
All right. Lovely. The way we like to start moving the mics up for Mace. Move your mic up. Yep. A way I like to start the show now is getting my favourite YouTube questions off the last episode. So I got 2, averaging 2 per week. I want to kick this one off, and I think this is a great point as well. So everyone knows about the unreal effort that DCE had in chasing down Stephen Crichton. It's more of a statement, not a question, this one, but when Crichton made the break, Munster's effort was instrumental. It took away the option for Crichton to step back inside to the right, and also allowed DCE to go balls out on the chase, knowing his inside was covered. That was from /_MM9HX. And I think that's a great point, mate. We're about to get in breaking down the game.
This is a good little thing. I think we spoke about it on the way in. I think a lot of punters and analysis, expert analysis. I think Joey said it. He goes, he was really disappointed on this effort from New South Wales. Like when Crichton did get that intercept, I think it was around about on the 10-metre mark. DC was on the 25 at a good angle, and so was Munster. This is an intercept. You know what I mean?
So they were attacking down the short side. They rolled a little kick in. There was shape back to the right.
There was shape back coming here.
And therefore it was fanned out, so they had more room.
Yeah, so they did have more room. So it's an optical illusion, right? So we're all sitting there. We've been defending all the middles and everything like that. And it would be great when you see those shots and you see 5 or 6 Blues people in there, but you saw 4 or 5 Queenslanders, right? Because they had that perfect angle from out on the right side to get at Crichton. Crichton didn't look like scoring. If you have the Eagle cam and watch it, and you're like, so DCE should have got him.
As soon as he got to the 50, you thought it was done.
I said, no. And then I've seen the Eagle cam and everything like that. When it's broken down, I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking straight line to Crichton. He had no hope. It was all about angles. It wasn't like Queensland he was coming from the fucking 10 metres out. He was on 25, so he had a 15-metre head start already. So little things like that, I was just like, I'm not disappointed in. I'm like, I just look at it. It's just, I don't think the New South Wales players were ever going to get in that picture. The middles, the left edge, it was a fucking good 90-metre sprint. And Queensland's effort to get back into the picture, Munster's effort to get into the picture was huge. You expect that when they throw an intercept, everyone's fucking bang. Yep. You're on the defensive mind straight away. Get back as quick as you can.
What did you say before though? What are you doing if you're on the team that either take the intercept?
Yeah, you fucking. If I'm a middle, then thank fuck.
Go.
There would have been a moment there where all the middles going, fuck yeah, go. You think Crichton's going to score, and you're like, oh shit, I've got to get down there because he's going to get caught. Yeah. So you have those moments when your big dog Critter gets that, you thought, fuck, he's going to go all the way, until you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, they had pretty good angles on him. Yeah. And fucking DC and Munster aren't slow. Critter's not like fucking the hammer or that sort of upper echelon quickness. Yeah. And fuck, I'm not taking anything away from Queensland's efforts. Fucking magnificent. But every player would do that. If you throw an intercept, those players on the right-hand side that were involved in that play, you're on your bike. Yep. That's it. And I'm just giving you some inside information of middles. You're like, oh, thank fuck for that. Yep. Go. And then you got that 2 or 3 seconds delay where the Queenslanders are going at it. You're like fucking idiot when they all break it down and have those little microcosms like, well, Queensland would have said, this is where it changed the game. Boom. 6 Queenslanders in the photo. Crichton, Toto. Everyone else back. But that's just break the game down a little bit further, guys. Yeah. You know, I'm just giving you some more. Yeah. It
was a big moment, but
Queensland will take that. This will be it'll be etched into the fucking folklore forever. All that chase down, everything, and it deserves it. But I'm just giving you some a little bit more of an extra breakdown of why things happen, and we don't just look at that. You know, it was a great chase.
Well, we're going to do more of that. I forgot to mention what the topics are. So it's a massive show today. If you haven't seen it before, we break down a few topics. So the first topic, Origin Series debrief. I've got a timeline of both New South Wales and Queensland in depth. We've both watched it back, and we did it today. So it was nice and fresh coming into this episode. We'll talk about the Women's State of Origin. Manly is reportedly set to sign West Tigers half Luke Brooks. That's ongoing today. Mind you, for people that are listening, we filmed this on Monday nights and we drop on Tuesday, so there'll probably be more news around that. Yeah. Benny Hunt. We'll talk about Justin Holbrook, and then we'll break down
some shit going on.
Reviewing all round 17. So we're a massive
soap
show.
Opera. Rugby league to soap opera.
If you're watching Levels Network, maybe kick the feet up, order some Uber Eats. If you're watching at night, you're going to be in for a long show. All right, the other question that we got, it kicks off like this. Hey, boys, love the potty and congrats on the 10K subscribers. Did you guys hear something about the Knights players not agreeing with Greg Marzu being dropped from the team for missing the bus, and some of them calling it double standards by the club? Pretty sure I read it last week or so. Hope it wasn't fake news. Up the Maroons and up the Levels podcast. Did you hear about the news?
I didn't hear about it. I heard when Greg got dropped, and what this goes back to, I'm not sure if he's double standards compared to last year. I think some shit went down last year. Players didn't get dropped, something like that. And then this year, bang, it gets hit like that.
Well, the same weekend that Kalen got done for the toilet incident,
it was something like that was last year.
2 players missed the bus as well in Brizzy.
So a lot of shit was happening last. This is last year, mind you. This is all the shit and all the culture that needs to change into places. Yeah. And this year, if he's only going by what happened last year, obviously this year is a whole new, it's a whole new fucking board. You know what I mean? So
what's the news? What's your guy from North Queensland? What's his name? Peter Parr?
Peter Parr, yeah.
So he got involved the week when all this went down.
So he rules it with an iron fist. He's one of the best, what is he called? The GM? Is it? Or the players sort of manager? It's just...
The CEO, GM.
Yeah, he does a lot. He does a lot. So...
footy manager.
Footy manager. So he just comes in, he knows what a good culture looks like because he built the whole North Queensland one. Yeah. You know what I mean? The people need to be accountable. Like Marzu, I think they all would have known when they all set their... what the team's going to be like, what we want to look like, and the disciplinary reasons when something happens, X, Y, and Z, this is what happens. You miss the bus, this is what happens. Most teams have got this. This is a great culture. So it's not double standards, so to speak. And if you're a player that kicked up a stink because of this, I'm not even going to say that they did, because I don't think it did. Because they all would have went through camp and this is what we stand for and, blah, 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 blah.
I think
nothing like what happened last year.
It doesn't show straight away, but it's great standards.
Yeah, you've got to have standards at great clubs. And they've set the standard there. Like, Newcastle's having not a bad year. a few disappointing moments and that, but they're not as bad as everyone thought they were going to be.
Oh, that's a shout out from Soleman.
Solid man.
Soleman. So
yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say because if there was some players there, you'd be very disappointed if the players would kicking up a stink that he got dropped.
Yeah.
Don't care how good you're playing, mate. Even if you're JT and all that kind of stuff, you're going to get rested.
Yeah, I like that. I agree. I think it sets a good standard. You don't get the results short term, but long term, that's how you build a culture.
Yeah.
So I think they made the wrong decision last year in allowing the players to play that missed the bus, and Peter Parr had just come in maybe that week or just after, and he set the standard. And again, it potentially, Greg Marzu doesn't play in that game that they just lose to the Roosters.
Yeah.
And then ramifications from that through the club across, and then it sets the tone. So I really like it. All right, moving on. Biggest takeaway from round 17 for me, Mace. We're going to talk a lot about Origin. I got this question for you. Is Penrith's system so good it's a detriment to not only the Blues and the Penrith players and their legacy moving forward at rep footy? And I'll
I know what you're talking about.
I'll throw you some stats here as well, right? So it's very reminiscent. I got this off a punter and I sort of looked into it a little bit more. So he referred to the Broncos of the early 90s and how dominant they were through the 90s, long
10
into
or
the
12
2000s.
rep players.
They had a really strong period, right, where they won back-to-back just like Penrith have won, all right? So they won their first championship in 92 and 93. During those years in Origin, they had 8 Broncos in the Queensland team in 92, lost the series. Close one, but lost the series. 93, they had 10 Broncos because they'd won the competition.
Then they would have had Lazo and Chris Johns, so they lost stuck to about 10 players, right? 10 or 11, right?
So then they have 10 Broncos, 93. They lose that series. And then following year, they don't win the competition, but obviously they'd gone back-to-back, so there's going to be a lot of Broncos in there again. 9 Broncos in that series, and this one wasn't close. They get quite convincingly beat in Game 3, and New South Wales win all 3 series. So are we seeing something similar where you're in such a strong club at club level, like the Broncos were in the early 90s, like Penrith are right now, that when you leave such a dominant system as such a dominant team and you play against teams that are more evenly based, does it smack you in the face? Do you get to Origin level and does it go, you used to being on the front foot, you used to be dominating, and then when you get into a situation where it's 50-50 or it's, there have been how many times would the Panthers have played in the last 2 years where they'd go,
we might get beat here.
How many times?
None. I don't think they...
Apart
honestly,
from the top 4 teams.
In the last 3 years, I honestly don't think they've rocked up to a game and gone, we get beat here.
Yeah. They would have lost games.
They would have went, fuck, maybe it's a 50-50 in a grand final.
Yes.
Or even the grand finals, I'm pretty sure in the last 2 years, they're like, fuck it. If we play our game, when you're in good systems, you don't even worry about that other team, right? You just back your own teammates. There was like in those days when I was at the Dogs, there's not one time I went into the fucking onto the field and went, we'll get beat today. No, we'll beat ourselves. If we had 3 or 4 players off, the Roosters will smack us.
100%.
The Broncos will get us. Penrith will get us if we're not like fucking fully in. But they trust their system so much that they know they're never going to be off. They're hardly ever off.
You know what the difference is? And I looked into other teams. So you was obviously, you win a competition, but you were dominant through that period as well. You had a lot of Kiwis as well. So it wasn't more like when you went to rep level, you were all together in the same team pushing forward. So that's the problem with the
Fisher Harris,
the Panthers.
Leota, Sorensen.
Here we go. We've got breaking news. It's official. Manly signed. This is from Bloke in a Bar. Manly signed Luke Brooks for 4 years. Lukey,
how old's Brooksy?
Lukey, can you chuck up how much? Is it 2 mil?
Yeah. No.
They're looking at $650 a season. Yeah. So 2.4. He's looking into it now. Yeah, he's going to keep going. He'll send me a text as we go.
Yeah, well, you got a good point, bud. So when you're playing club level and you're going into every game, right?
Yep.
Like the Broncos will be going 92, 93, pretty much untouchable. That's what the Penrith are doing now. And then they get into Origin, and then like you're trying to say that you get affected by the Origin game. You know what I mean? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
You don't really know how to deal with it?
So you're in a situation where you're not like as dominant at club level. So everything flows so nicely. Like they've got such a great system. Even when the players are missed, which we'll get to the game of Penrith, people come in and they do their jobs. It's like you said, Mace. There wouldn't be a game that they wouldn't go in that they wouldn't have gone into in the last 3 years, I reckon, with the mentality like we're going to win. But when you get to Origin, it's different.
and things start breaking down. Like just say with Isaiah Yeo, right?
Correct.
I think Yoey's the main thing because he plays such a dominant part, an integral part at Penrith and how they play. It doesn't replicate into Origin football, some of his plays. The block plays and all that sort of stuff. The Maroons have figured it out. Do you see Carrigan doing any block plays? Fuck all, he does some arse-ups. He gets the ball and he just flicks it at the back when they're wrapping around real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a different than a block play.
And I think that's organically too.
Yeah, and
that's
that just happens because people Harry Grant's hitting him and then coming back around. He's like, okay, well they come in, they're dug in, bang, flick it around when they scored that try just after half time. That's an eyes up play, right? Yeah. That's Harry Grant being on the ball. That's Harry Grant going on the ball, going, fuck it, get around the back here, and then we can just play football. Everyone's on their depth on that one play. Yeah. The block plays, mind you, if I'm bang, I'm gonna get here. Everyone comes up and just fucking goes out the back really quick. Makes all these middles, they're like ninjas, man. They come up and move fucking really quick. There's hardly any lazy guys anymore. So they all just check, release and go. So the block plays really hold New South Wales up. Queensland come in. How many times you seen get bashed over the fucking sideline? Or us having to drop someone else up under to come back because it's fucking boom, like a big maroon fucking sea. It's because they're not direct at the line and they're not trying to just say if you're like the Yudkig Robson and you got fucking Payne Haas. Like Payne Haas just doesn't even look like pass. He just bashes the ball up.
Well, he was New South Wales best.
Well, you got Carrigan and you got the kid from fucking
Cotter.
They're fucking smart players, man. Yeah. They're running these lines. They're coming in, and if you come around the back, you're going to get the ball. Yeah. And you got Munster and all these other guys. It looks fucking great, but it's not a planned move.
Yeah, I think both that play that you're talking about happened. So Harry Grant gets out and throws the ball, I think, to Cotter. Cotter just does a little turn up because he doesn't feel any presence. There's no line speed. He pops it up to Carrigan. Carrigan tips it on and just goes, look, there's some shape here, and goes bang, bang, and they score on the corner.
And that's just
very hard to defend.
It's eyes up for you can't defend that because what happens, the markers A and B, they're done. They're done because of the fact that Harry Grant comes out, engages, they're trying to score. They're like, fuck, you guys aren't even coming up.
Yep.
You take one more step, you get that chance because you will not have the opportunity. If that line speed's up, you catch the ball on the line, you get bashed. So you're not even looking for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the smart middles that understand the game. So, fuck, I'm digging too far into the line here. You get an opportunity to lay it back. Yeah. That's smart play from those blokes, you know? Yeah, and it's hard to have, we don't have those sort of plays. Junior Paulo does that a lot at Parramatta. He can do it.
Yeah, he does.
He does, especially on the left side because he goes to run and he just goes like that. He just flicks it up. Imagine and see all the opportunity on that left side for Parramatta in the last 2 or 3 years. It's because what he does in the middle there. Yeah, I agree. You can't plan for it.
Yeah, it's got to happen organically.
It's got to happen, and everyone needs to push up because most teams just wait for that play, and they just think we're just going to set plays up. It's a play that should be pretty much nearly into most teams at the moment because it fucking works. Yeah. Because you can't do the double blocks and out the back because they just come up, they read the play. These middles are reading the 9. They're looking at the 9. Until he releases, you don't release. Until the ball's gone past you, these are the rules in the middle. The ball goes past your eyes, you come up and you fucking, you're on your bike it's a sprint. 20, 30 metre sprint. You're going at it.
Wow, look at this. Breaking news. Here we go. The Seagulls have signed 3 players and extended club international. Manly Ring Seagulls have strengthened their playing ranks for the next season with the signings of 3 quality young players. Not only have they got Brooks, they've got Jackson Boller, they've got...
the kid from the
Roosters?
The lock?
No, Jackson Boller, the winger from RABBITOHS that's in the Roosters. Tommy Talau for 2 years. Damn. I think that's a good signing. And they've re-signed Tolu Kola for another 3 years from the end of 2024. That's good. Wow. Some big news.
Does that mean that Schuster would be on the outer?
We'll get to that. We're going to get to that a little bit further.
Sorry, I was talking to some bloke on Instagram talking about Schuster.
Yeah, we'll get to it for sure. I've got an opinion on it, obviously. So getting back to this, my biggest takeaway from these stats, and I believe there is some validity in it, is fuck combinations. Yeah. Now moving forward, look at Queensland. They don't rely on combinations at club level. They pick the best players available in their positions.
Harry Grant doesn't play for any middle. He doesn't play with any middle. Harry Grant. Yep. Or Ben Hunt. Yes. Off your fucking 9. He's playing for St George. He's from Melbourne. They've got no Origin front rows in there, so there's no familiarity. Fuck it. Yep. Play with the best players.
I'm with you. That's my point from it.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point.
All right. Moving on.
That's my takeaway too. Sorry, with not that exact one, but I think we're going to get to the Cleary sort of.
Oh yeah, we're going to get it. We've got more to go.
That's what I'm saying, but that's more my take. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, okay. Some teams would hate that. because you want your best players back, but like you're talking about longevity and stuff, man.
Oh yes, yes.
That was my
I've got it in the
I thought that was
Panthers
smart
breakdown.
from Cleary, man.
Yeah.
Maybe gone are the days we've got to change that narrative, like, oh, you got to be tough to back up and all that sort of shit.
Well,
it's too hard.
It's tough and backs up. Fucking DOWGS. BodyScience, DOWGS. And you know what they have? They have the Nitrovol lean muscle protein, the ultimate lean muscle protein powder to enhance recovery and performance so they can back up after Origin, OG.
You know who had that?
You did.
Number 8 for fucking the Titans, my dog.
Yeah.
My dog.
Oh, perfect.
My dog.
Well, then he must have had a high quality blend. A high quality blend containing fast and slow protein blend carb matrix with creatine, glutamine, BCAAs, vitamin B2, and sport mineral complex. Nitrovol lean muscle was formulated to improve performance, enhance recovery, and support lean muscle gains. So, Mo Fodawaker can become Mace's dog of the week.
He would have smashed it. All these players would have smashed the Nitrovol after the game. It's all about recovery and getting on to the next game. BSC, massive sponsors of the Titans for years as well, because Greg loves the fucking Titans. I don't know why, but he loves them. Anyway, he must have given Mo Fodawaker some extra shit. Played 70 minutes, 21 hit-ups. Bro, this is ridiculous. 70 minutes against a fucking Brisbane team who got 4 or 5 Origin players. So it's not like he's come back to the going, I get to play Newcastle.
And no Tino.
Yeah, no Tino. So he's got the whole Gold Coast on his back. 210 metres, 76 post-contact metres, 32 tackles. 2 missed tackles. I don't know what else to say. That is a fucking ridiculous stat. For a kid who I think he played off the bench for Queensland, didn't have massive minutes, 30, 35 minutes, so ran nearly 150 metres, mind you. And he was a big reason why Queensland got on the front foot because they put him on and he was a massive difference. But like, fuck, man, you had to go against, look at the Broncos team. Flegler, Origin. Haas, Origin. Carrigan, Origin. Unbelievable effort, mate. So
he well and truly deserved. He got caught in, obviously. Who ended up missing? Dry Arrow misses out, and he ends up playing Origin. Let me get the players' stats up here now for him. We'll go down. Mo Fodawaker played 31 minutes in Origin as well, so he had 6 carries for 77 metres as well. Post contact 32 tackles in Origin.
So I thought he made more metres
in Origin.
The wrong ones,
yeah. But still good effort coming off the bench. And he would have come on during that period where it was a good tour and throw early on. Yeah, because they got those couple of tries early. What a great effort. Obviously, a well-deserved BodyScience dog of the week.
Because this was a game, man. This was a game.
It was a cracking game.
70 minutes up there against these guys. They don't stop. Like guys like Flegler and Carrigan and Haas. It's one of the best packs in the game. Yeah. Easily. And he's got a whole ground that whole time with no Tino. No Tino. That is a map.
David Fifita
was massive. But the numbers that Tino puts out every week is fucking impossible.
Yeah.
You can't replicate it. You can't go, can you do Tino's job? No, you fucking can't.
Well, Mo did.
Yeah. And I think did Fifita start in the middle?
Nah, he's played on the edge.
No?
He played on the edge. Yeah. I'll tell you had a big game as well. I'm staying in the front row. We love our front rows for dogs.
Got to, mate. Especially in this part of the year, you got to.
I think he might have the most dogs of the week or year. Adam Fanua-Blake.
Yeah, he's got it.
60 minutes, 20 carries, 193 metres, 60 post-contact metres, 2 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 31 tackles, 0 missed. And he was recorded for 1 try stitch, which was silky. Had a nice little offload for Shawnee right at the death of the game. But the shape coming back from the left to the right, where Dallin scored 3 of his 4 tries, his little interchange of passing for the try assist, like the pass just before the try to either Chance Nickel-Klogstad or even getting out the back for Shawnee, was unbelievable. We are blessed right now in the NRL. I think maybe 8 weeks ago, we'd said that Payne had separated himself from all other front rowers in the competition. Payne's still right up there, but fuck, you got Tino.
Tino's coming, man. Tino's coming.
Aden's playing as good as he's ever played. He was playing. It could be. We're about to talk about Manly losing players over the last couple of years. Manly losing Aden in his prime to the Warriors. Could be one of the biggest losses that Manly have had when you look back at it over the last 3 or 4 years. That could have been the difference between them taking the next step. About 2018, remember? 19, when they made the preliminary finals, that They lose to the Rabbitohs in that final.
He just need to work on a couple of things in his game. For me, from a coaching perspective, it was probably on the defensive end.
Yep.
Right, there was a lot of plays he was taking off because I talk to Chatty about him all the time. I rate him fucking. He's probably number 1 or 2 attack-wise prop.
Yep.
It's the difference that separates Tino and Payne Haas is what they do on the defensive end. They don't miss any assignments. They're always doing those little things where there's a lot of little plays that he has off here and there, which cost their team pretty big. And not many teams spot him up massively because it's hard to get at him. Because if you do run at him, he jams you anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're the things that he's worked on this year, and he's really the last 2 or 3 years.
Taking it to a new level.
He's really because people don't really notice it because he gets you with these mind-blowing fucking stats.
Yeah.
But you got to look at the flip side and go, what do you do defensively? So defensively, he's not doing what Tino and Payne Haas do. That's what stops him from creeping up into their conversation as the best prop in the game.
Yep.
You're talking about 95% effective tackling. Fucking the massive minutes in the middle and what you're doing in the middle at that time. Not taking plays off, doing it really effective, all that kind of stuff. Because his skill set as a prop is fucking probably higher than both those guys.
Yeah.
Payne Haas is big, strong, fast.
Offensively.
I think Tino is my dude.
Yep.
If I'm going to pick a prop in the game, I'm going to pick Tino and Payne Haas. Payne Haas, he just doesn't stop. And I'll pick Tino, and then I'll pick like an Adam Finul-Blake off the bench. If I'm picking like a fucking all-star team. That would be my balance.
But he was silky. Adam Finul.
No, I'm just saying. He's just a couple of little things. If he takes that to a next level.
Well, he did 32 tackles, 0 misses,
he's a
60 minutes,
gun.
high quality across the board. I think it's a true credit to what Webster's done at the Warriors with not only him, players like Murata Niokora, who been playing really well at Para in the last couple of years. Some other really big performances, obviously Shawnee, which we'll get to. All right, but let's get into
can I say something? I just looked at that. Titans are on 20 points, right? The number 1's coming on 24. The amount of games that the Titans have dropped this year, they could be like well ahead of everyone, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Like 28 points easy. So there's 4 games there.
Well, they should at least they would be filthy on 2 in particular. The one that they let slip against you when they were the Dogs, when they were leading, was it 14-0?
Yeah, 14-0.
14-0 at halftime, and the Dolphins one's huge. So that's
crazy,
They should realistically be on 4 points. And we'll get to that when it comes to Justin Holbrook's departure, because
that's
that played
the reason, mate. Yeah.
Well, that played a part in the there was a clause in his contract. If he wasn't at a certain part of the ladder by the time a certain part of the season come across, so he hasn't been sacked and gets paid out. He's been done, like it's part of his contract. Yeah. So
that sucks even more.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to Origin 2 debrief. New South Wales kicking off with Tommy's injury again right off the bat. I noticed watching it back, he'd done his pec even before he hit the ground.
Yeah, his first little, it was awful.
You know, when he's just reaching out at Walshy, you could see him grimacing before it even hit the ground.
Like, that moment where Walshy flicked his head back and he went back on it,
it
was done there.
It
sucked the air out. Even watch us when we reviewed the game, we were in Townsville. That was us coming from the game, the atmosphere, all that sort of shit. It was probably a different feeling watching the game. It was a fucking brutal game, man. A brutal game. Yeah. Like it was awful when Tommy went off. Like we were like, what are we going to do? The whole air went out of the whole thing because everyone was looking forward to Tommy playing good. You want to beat a full strength New South Wales all the time. Put Cook at left centre, switch Critter over the other side. It took us a while to get over that.
Well, this is what So 9 minutes in, this is what I wrote down straight away. Too much passing. So then I go and look at the stats after the game. 264 passes for New South Wales to 211 for Queensland. I just thought early on there was too much tipping across, trying to get to points, what you're alluding to before again with not only Isaiah Yeo, it's like anyone who got the ball. There's even a period where Junior Bolo got the ball and was tipping it out the back, where it's like,
and you got to get
when
to
I was
a
watching
point,
Queensland, they were just attacking and
going
the
easiest
one out.
way, like just say if you're left 4, right, and you know I'm right, I'm on the right edge, and you want to see me fucking start on your outside and bang on your inside, or do you want someone to fucking cross me up and take away all my momentum? You want that?
Yeah.
How many times did we do that?
Did you get 2 or 3 in the
tackle?
tackle?
Get 2 or 3 tackles. Someone just got to stop momentum, boom on the ribs, bang on the legs, wrestle on the way down.
Yep.
It is fucking awful. And when they were getting to on the left side, and it was like, as I said, it wasn't just Yo. You know, it was the big boys coming in there and either going out the back and then crossing someone else, and they were dummy cross and hitting someone else. I was like, so much ball playing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you saw Queensland, right? I'll go back to even the first set of the game. We got to a good sailing. We got like 55 metres off the thing, kick it down. Little things I always look at. Every single person that touched the ball in that first set of 6 should have their head buried in the fucking ground. they all stood in tackles, Queensland. So fucking Xavier Coates was outstanding, and so was Tuolangi, so was Hammer and Val Holmes. Their back five fucking got it done.
Yeah.
Got it done coming out of yardage. They were barely on their back, man.
That's funny because you don't associate with the Queensland back five like you do with Toto,
No,
right, and what they've been
because
doing in
of
yardage.
Latrell and Turbo has been out.
Yeah.
So, right, it evens up when you get those two big bodies coming out of
It's
yardage. And then, like, Val Holmes, man, he's
a
the
good
man.
nick.
He's the man. He's the best centre in the game. He fucking took it. And Hammer, I don't know what position that guy is, but fuck me, he is strong as hell. He don't miss a tackle. He don't miss any assignments. He's fit as hell. He takes tough carries. It's like, you got him in Tuolangi.
Well, you had a big question mark on him too, didn't
Massively,
you?
because
game
like,
one?
and everyone did. Everyone's like, you got Gags, who's a fucking known Origin player.
Yeah.
And you put this young kid in there. It's like, why? There must be something that Billy doesn't know, that we know that Billy does know, the selectors know, all that sort of shit. Well, they fucking did.
Yeah.
Because the kid plays fullback every week, and then he played in the centres on the left side and dominated.
Do you reckon Uncle Wayne might have communicated
big
something
time.
like that?
Yeah,
to Billy? Do you reckon
Billy would have rang
reached
him
out
and said,
to
"What's
Wayne?
happening? What position is he?" Wayne would have said, "He's just a fucking footballer."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just put him in the team. Put him anywhere. He'll get a job done. You know, he's playing him fullback because he's probably the best fullback on that roster.
Yeah.
But yeah, just little things like that. We didn't dominate. What we
I
should have.
think Hammer's a fullback, but it's
goes
like
in,
it's like
put that jersey on.
Turbo and Latrell. They play fullback for club level. They go and do a job in the centre.
Just little things like that. I was just watching. I was like, that you don't get to see the game, and I was like, oh man.
I've got another little one for you. So, like I said, too much passing. Then we got the perfect example of it. 20-minute mark. So you remember when DCE puts a kick down the right-hand side and Teddy grabs it and it bounces and he puts his foot over the line. So Teddy grabs it, brings it in 10 metres out from their own line. He plays it in the middle of the field. They legit had 5 carries with only a scoot or 1 pass. What was the result? They end up kicking the ball on the front foot. Moses goes down the right edge, puts it down in the corner. Reece Walsh gets it from a metre out on his own line and dives to the ground.
Yeah, okay.
All they
How
did
was
was
that
play
play?
flat and
Yeah.
fast. And I remember watching that. I was like 10 minutes after I'd written it down. I was like, there is the example of what they should have done for more. I know you can't go dummy half pass,
course not.
dummy half scoot for the entire game. But for the majority of the game, like Queensland do, you've got to earn the right to pass.
Yeah.
You still got to earn the
level,
right to pass
at every level.
And I don't think New South Wales did that. I don't think they did it to the 20-minute mark. They got success, and then they go away from it again.
What happens when you do pass a lot in Origin in the first fucking 20 minutes? Because you don't stop on that field, man. You do not stop. You're at a fucking 10 minimum everywhere you go in the middles. You want the couple of passes. I want to go the 7-6. I'm like, oh fuck, I'll close this down, close that down. It's like a big wall, blue wall or maroon wall. You know what I mean? Like that's your mentality. You're not every play's a play, but it's like you need that fucking just direct shit. Because as I said, when you're going up and that way, that quick, it comes back against the grain sometimes.
Yep.
But you've got to earn that sort of stuff. And Queensland seem to earn it a lot. So that's why when they do get it, they get a couple of offloads here and there. Bang, 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 bang. They just sort of fucking...
There's no line speed from
No.
New South Wales because they're on the back foot because the play the balls were so quick that you gain that momentum.
I was like, we didn't get any ascendancy in the middle where we should because we've got Payne Haas and we've got Paulo.
All right, the next big one is Damien Cook. I wrote down he looked okay in the centres, to be fair. Right. I said the one thing that cost him was the communication with Fox and his depth outside of Cookie, which is understandable because they hadn't played together. Fox was more sitting flatter to Cookie because he would have either practiced with either Latrell or Stephen Crichton, who can get the ball, skip on the outside of man. So get out ball, skip out, where Cookie was more running a direct line. So he just had to peel back a little bit more. There was a lot of...
just the timing off the run. Probably a couple of things that stands out is that when we were on the attack and it was like 20-6 or something like that, and he flicked that pass on the third.
Yeah.
You know, like, or the second, like people pointing that out, and I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that. He's the first one to say that.
Yeah.
Everything else, like, what do you expect?
Well, I wrote down as well.
expect?
So that he got done defensively twice, right? They scored 2 tries on his side, but got to remember they scored 2 tries on the left-hand side when Stephen Crichton and Brian Toto were there regardless.
Yeah, but you can't really put anything on him.
Well,
Like, Val Holmes wasn't just smoking him like fucking...
100%. Tries are going to happen down
Shaking
that edge
bacon.
regardless. I just think it was more to do with Queensland's attack. They did it really good. It wasn't like I looked at it and gone, oh, that was the difference. Cookie got dusted by Val. There was some nice shape before it got to it, which we alluded to
And when
before.
when Tuolangi scored... Like, no, he was on the other side.
No, Coates is on the right.
Yeah. There's no way you got just
Val Holmes, 2 tries. So there was a try. The one with Cookie where he goes up and drops the ball, that's Jeremiah Nano. That's tough. Back end of the game.
And the other one's just after half time.
There was the one where Walsh goes. So it was one of Coates' try.
The arse up one that played.
Yeah.
The one there. And he
that was a flick. Nice hands by Walshy. They try to shut it down. I wrote down after about the 55th, 60-minute mark, Payne Haas and Reece Robson were unreal. Right. Just felt like they were on everything. They were fucking...
And you didn't know... I didn't notice that at the game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, did Reece Robson do much? I'm like, all he did was tackle.
He's an Origin player.
And try and hit. And we all fucking knew that. I was just like... But it was... Yeah, I felt sorry for him. His first Origin like that. He probably would have been thinking before the game, like, give you 30, go fucking balls out, give you a rest after half time because you put Cook on. It would have been beautiful how Origins work out in your head sometimes, but like...
He handled it.
Fucking easy, man.
Yeah, he wasn't the reason that fucking
Payne Haas,
New South Wales, when he got a couple opportunities to get out and just fucking play, I thought he was really good, really good service.
Shout out Payne Haas, playing 40 minutes in the middle, bro. And Ruben Cotter's a fucking dog. Ruben Cotter played on the edge and then let Nanai come in, so he moved into the middle and fucking, oh, mate, I'd love to play that kid.
80 minutes.
Absolute dog.
80 minutes.
But sometimes harder on the edge, man, because they were coming down there. Luai's coming on there, so he can't get in there and pull his shoulders forward, come in, like try and hit everyone like in the middle. He'll be talking to those other guys, man, and he does that so good.
He's got
that's a fucking. He's a gun.
Yeah, he's a proper weapon, eh?
Like a proper, exactly. He's not big. He's not fucking like sick. He ain't like looking like Tino. Comes in there. The person who can play on an edge and play in the middle is priceless.
Cam Murray, he had to be on earlier. What was doing? He ended up playing for South on the weekend, so it can't have been injury-wise. Like, how Freddie didn't put him on until like...
Well, I don't understand. Like, you got Otoi Kamanu, the young kid, right? He gets on with it 5 minutes before half-time.
Yeah.
You're thinking, well, he's going to get to at least... You get through that, obviously, and then like just let him get into the game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you pick a young kid like that and just give him 12 minutes and not even fucking think about putting him back on.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to leave him out there, see what he's got. It wasn't. We weren't losing any ascendancy or anything like that.
No.
It wasn't his fault. He wasn't getting caught around the ruck. He wasn't getting, you know what I mean? He wasn't getting exposed. I was just like, if he was out of his depth, take him. But that's the difference. You don't pick guys that are going to get out of their depth in Origin.
Yeah.
Maybe in the 70th minute, if you've been on there, if you're Payne Haas, he's never that dude. And I'm like, you got to take him, get into a little bit of deep water, right? That Otoi Kamanu before you get him off. Like, I'm talking 15 to the 20-minute mark. But I think Otoi Kamanu should have been not even that dude. It should have been the back end of the half in the second half if you're going to play him like that. Because I'm putting Cam Murray on instead, exactly, in front of Isaiah Yeo. Give Yoey a bit of a break. He can't touch the ball more than fucking Moses.
Yeah.
That would have been the play, right?
I thought Moses was pretty good too.
I think so.
But he just like off the back of it, there was not much outside of
he
what
needs
he
to
could
dominate. Like he needs hands on the ball when he wants. When he's going down short sides, and you just got to play eyes up footy. Where Critter missed the jump a couple of times,
just a couple of
times, you know. Because he did a lot of work. Critter, I'm not going to be hard on him there. I'm just like he just sees shit Moses, and he just appears from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like he ain't like Cleary.
He gave him a little spray.
He's not like Cleary, where Cleary's very, very. He goes off the depth of like what Yo's doing because that's what happens at Penrith, and it works so well. It doesn't work well in Origin, man.
Yeah. I left the game going for New South Wales. So, you know, this is it. Freddie's got to go for me. The teams were too evenly balanced for New South Wales, for me, to never really be in that in game two. I don't think they'll ever in it. And they should have iced game one, and then they don't win game two. Off the back of previous results, I think this is the end of Freddie.
And what do you think? I mean, as you said, it's very evenly matched, right? If you look at the game, if you know the game, if you don't go for New South Wales or Queensland, you look at this team going,
don't take the result out of it.
Exactly. Anything
Put
can
them on
happen.
paper.
Yeah, you're probably thinking, the New South Wales has got more talent, right? You're probably thinking that. And then you got to dive a little bit deeper. It's like, to get that little bit of a 10% rise out of your players, is that the players' responsibility? I think so. I don't think, do you blame the coach for that? The coach has got to just prep you.
You know how important coaching is.
I know, but it is. I'm saying, like, just say me as a player, the coach did not have to fucking prep me for Origin.
Yeah.
He said to prep me when I was a real young kid. Like, even just for the games, right? Week in, week out, grind mentally, this and that. You're not prepping fucking blokes for an Origin game. You got to prep them in the right way. Even like when I speak to Gus goes, everyone was ready for Origin. Yeah. That's why you pick players, the Origin players. Queensland keep picking Origin players. They keep turning up. You don't have to coach these fuckers,
But
man.
Gus still would have had a presence and an aura about him and this confidence that you fed off, that you didn't have to. Like, you'd come into, you were Willie Mason, you come in, you're a young... up-and-coming superstar for New South Wales Blues, but you also look and go, we got ourselves a leader.
Yeah, but mate, I looked at Gus because I was part
I don't think there's that perception with Freddie. That's my opinion.
Yeah, maybe. Because they look at Billy and go, Billy's that dude.
Same. That's
it
what I
ain't
think.
too far taken away from him.
Yeah.
You know, so I think maybe it has got something to do with that. I don't know, because I'm just at a club level going, why do you have to be so fucking motivated to play? Maybe you do. Do you know what I mean? These kids need to be motivated for a fucking training session.
Well, I'll ask you this, right? Do you feel like every single play you play, that's your mentality, that's your mindset? Then when you played, did you always feel like every other, the Trent Waterhouses, the Mark Gasniers, these guys that you played with that were elite players, did they always have that mindset when they played with you? Or were there some players, not naming players, that you felt like he needed a bit of coaching to get up for this?
There was some players that were in the some really shit systems.
Yep.
That you're like, fuck, you didn't even know that. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of times in rep camps, you probably feed off the guys that are winning comps and like being in the top 4 and stuff like that. And they would be all going off Penrith, thinking that's the right system. Maybe it's just the right system for club level. It's a different systems in Origin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you had Joey playing with you, if you played with Freddie, if you played with Trent Barrett, you just let those guys do their job.
So all those 3 guys, right? All different clubs, no combinations, didn't play together. But when they got to Origin level, they combined well.
Yeah. Like Trent Barrett and Joey was probably fucking one of the best. From Danny Badiris, Joey, Trent Barrett was probably one of the best fucking, or Joey and Lockie when I played for a test team. I'm like, that's fucking elite looking. Do you know what I mean? Like, just optically, we're just sitting, we just say the guys are on the bench or something. They go, holy shit, they just went from the fucking right hand side and we're just over there and Tamanatahu's scoring or some shit.
Without even saying a word.
Without saying a word.
Zero comms.
Middles just have to fucking do your job. And I think it's a difference in leaders as well, right? I think the amount of leadership that's involved in the Queensland side at the moment, I think it's probably a little bit better than New South Wales. You know,
I don't have the answer for the coach. I just don't think Freddie's the one. So
it's hard to think. It's hard to think. That's what I'm saying. Like, just with coaching, it's very hard. I'm like, but I can only sort of have a little bit of an angle because I'm at NRL training at the moment. I'm like, the kids need to be motivated, like non-stop motivated to do shit. It's like it's fucking you walk in with a fucking ball and chain. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's like that at Origin. You got to get these guys up every time.
Sure.
You'd hopefully not. I'm just saying for training sessions and shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm not sure. It's a different fucking generation here, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things to do, and I'm just like, I really don't understand, because when you're playing, you're just all about this shit.
Well, I'll tell you who was all about it. I'll tell you who was all about it. Was Queensland and Ruben Cotter. So moving on to a bit of a timeline with Queensland, Ruben Cotter. He was well and truly knocked out, concussed on that Stephen Crichton carry early on.
The Toto one.
No, it was Crichton. Crichton got him with the bumpers early on in the first 5 minutes.
We got done twice then.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, because Toto hit him bang and hit him with...
That was Crichton. It was Crichton.
Fitz said in the comments, I fucking
swear
let us know in the
comments. It was Crichton. I believe it was Crichton coming off the right foot, little bumper bars straight into his... And he is such a dog that he stumbled only for the...
Yes, I saw it.
In Origin, you can get away with just a little bit of a stumble that you wouldn't be able to get away with at NRL level, where the doctors do the old,
please
don't stumble anymore. And he didn't stumble just enough. Remember Yowie last year?
Didn't even look at him.
Remember Isaiah Yo last year?
Yeah.
Remember when he stumbled and he was clearly concussed, and everyone was like, "Fuck, he should not." HIA rules, whatever. In Origin, they do.
Don't stumble.
They go over there. Don't stumble again. And he pulled himself together just enough. They get the ball. You could see sort of walking on the left-hand side of the ruck, trying to gather himself, and he gets just enough where they didn't have to pull him out of the game. But he was
exactly what
out.
I saw. I was like, he's done. And it was in the
out.
first 5 minutes. I was like, I'm not, I love Ruben Cotter, but my Blues hat. And I'm like, get him off.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that at the game, right?
So either did
I saw it fucking today. I'm like, he's knocked out. Yeah. Get him off. But I'm like, exactly. You just got to fucking Siri. What?
Yeah, Siri doesn't mean you get knocked out, which I believe even strengthens his case. Big chance for Wally Lewis medal with Ruben Cotter in this series. All right, we also think Daly Cherry Evans should be thereabouts. Fuck, Cherry and Munster's line speed early on. It's just you're that shape we're talking about. All the passes. They were just getting up with their centres, cutting it down so easily.
Kicking game of Cherry Evans, man. Cherry, he's outstanding. He just and I think Moses was outstanding as well.
Yeah,
like
he was
in the kicking game department.
Yeah,
like Cherry, why did Teddy let 2 balls bounce?
Well, they kicked twice on the 4th tackle back to back and got over.
Just got him by a metre, but
yeah,
just a metre.
But how much of a difference does that make?
It does, because that bounce means 10 metres game.
Correct.
People don't understand that. That's why a lot of coaches are catch it on the full. Because you catch on full, you're going to attack that 10 metres. You let it bounce, that's 10 metres to the guys running towards the ball, the defenders. So, happened a couple of times. But just Cherry, just looking at the game, if you watch the game live and you watch the game on TV, like he's the most influential at the moment.
I think he was the most valuable player on the field.
Like if you're talking MVP, the best player or the most valuable player, he's the MVP.
Yeah,
not the most fucking. He hasn't got He's not doing the shit that Walshy's doing.
Not the highlights.
Because I think
not the try assist and shit.
I think at the end of the day,
Walshy would have been close too, though.
Walshy
he was
probably nearly get
silky.
it, man.
Yeah,
I think he will.
Get played in the series.
Yeah. Because he hasn't. He's been in the top 3 in both games. You good?
This fucking thing.
Just don't touch it, man.
I think that'll sit. That'll be all right. That's it like that.
Yeah. Ruben Cotter, back to that. I saw that today. I'm just like, oh, what a, because that's an effort, right?
Oh, yeah, there we go. This is getting to my point. The Holmes try I wrote down was not planned, in my opinion. Playing eyes up footy, Cotter to Carrigan, little turn up, was just supposed to be a carry, I believe. And then Cotter sensed that there was no line speed, tips it up to Carrigan. We already broke that down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then again, getting on to Cotter and Collins as the game was going on, I said they got the man of the matches for literally just doing all the little things right. Like we talk about, Chez's kicking game, Walshy's flair, and that's why it was so hard to sort of pinpoint who deserved it. Collins' stats didn't blow me away, but fuck, he had a couple of just like diving on loose balls, like flicking it, like that ball hits him in the legs and he picks it up.
Luai one when he hit Luai,
yeah,
like he dropped the ball in that tackle. There's some big moments that he did. He wasn't there. In my eyes, it's Cotter, Carrigan, and Walsh. That in the first 3 games, first 2 games, and it's like they got that sort of X factor, especially the guys in the middle. Carrigan does some shit. Carrigan was the one who set that hard carried fourth, bang bang, hits DCE on the inside. They go down there and end up scoring the next play. Yeah. So there's little moments like that. It's like there's no reason he just went back after that intercept, defended his ass off, and then got on that 4th carry, and fucking boom boom, and then a little ball inside.
Right now, who would be your front runner for Wally Lewis medal? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, pain. Is Carrigan in the middle? Because he fucking definitely plays like one.
What do you mean?
Like just when you said middle, front row.
No. Who's gonna win the Wally Lewis medal? So who's gonna get best player? Yeah.
Oh fuck. Cotter at 3.
Yep, I agree.
I reckon Carrigan at 2 and Walsh at 1. I think that's how it's going to go down.
I'm gonna go Cherry 2. I reckon Cherry's efforts have been underrated, and Walsh at 1.
I haven't been speaking about him at DCE like that.
I reckon Carrigan's he's not coming into contention because he won it last year.
Yeah, because I still reckon watching the game, it, just going, he's the best forward on the fucking field. Carrigan and Cotter, it's 1 and 2 is the best forward on the field. and you're talking about Tino and Payne Haas sharing the field with these guys. Liam Martin was a dog as well. I still would have started him on the left.
Liam Martin,
I can't wait for that aggression to be at the 20th fucking minute. I need that shit from the fucking first second until he goes off.
Well, then they play him in the front row as well, where
fuck it, start him at front row and Junior Paul off the bench. No, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna fucking put him on, he's coming on in the middle.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is they put him in the middle where it tires him out more. On the left edge, he can conserve some energy, pick his times, and really it halves the field because they start looking up when he's on the edge and he's got a little bit more fresh. He just fucking
Do you see how he tackled Cherry Evans in the 55th minute and just bear hugged him and just suplexed him?
He's a beast.
And fucking tried to. Cherry didn't know what to do because it was legal, and I'm like, and he just got up and tapped him. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know how you police that one.
All right, Queensland too good. Congrats on the series. Yeah, moving on to the girls who also win the series. I'd also like to give them a huge congratulations. 18,275 people. We were 3 of them, me, you and Lukey, at the game up at Townsville. Just another indication of how much Queensland love their origin, Maze. Yeah, honestly, there was like 80% Queensland jerseys.
What would you get it if you played New South Wales on Thursday? Do you reckon you probably 10, 12 maybe?
What, 1,000?
Yeah.
And percentage of jerseys that are there too? We just don't, like, even in New South Wales, don't even wear the jerseys like Queensland do everywhere. No. Queensland, Suncorp and fucking Townsville, where, no exaggeration, 65% minimum Queensland jerseys across the board.
They love it. Or they have some sort of maroon paraphernalia on, right?
Yes.
They don't care. They just buy in. They fucking buy in.
Or a scarf.
All we have is the fucking blatchies.
Yeah.
and a couple of young
Couple
kids.
of wigs.
Because you don't really... even little things like this. Like, and I'm a sucker to it as well. I'm guilty for it. Like, I'm going to all these Origin Legends things. Like, all these Maroons have got, like, maroon fucking blazers on. I'm like, I got a blue blazer. I just wouldn't fucking wear it because it looks corny.
Yeah.
But to them, it's not corny.
No.
Even
It's
I'm not saying
religion.
they're corny. I'm not saying it, but I'm like, me personally, I'm like I saw Petro. I saw Pet when we were up there, the great Petro. How nice a bloke is he, man? I think he did this is how nice and aware he is as a human, right? So I think that, you know, that talk about 06 and the Broncos stuff and me talking some shit at halftime.
Yeah.
He did an interview on it and they're trying to Origins, like they try and build some shit up.
Yeah.
Petro says this. Petro goes, first thing he said to me, he goes, mate, I'm so sorry about they got that quote. I said, Petro, it's true.
Yeah.
I was talking shit.
Yeah.
And they go, fucking, that's what happened. Obviously, they're going to make it better and bigger every time they talk about it.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm just sorry.
That's what makes
He goes, I thought you should know. I didn't say. I said, Petro, he's the nicest man I've ever played with, and against shared the field with him, and like just to see him like that, and even the first thing he says, like, I'm sorry that they missed. I said, fuck it, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
It happened.
He's a legend name.
You know what I mean? But just to see him, maroon jersey. You saw it.
Yep.
Every ex-Queensland, maroon blazer. I'm up there watching it with Mick Crocker and fucking all these other blokes. Maroon fucking thing. I'm just sitting there with the fucking black one on. Plus they get given them. Right? They've got maroons in their number and shit.
Yeah.
I don't have one. I'm not going to go out and buy a fucking sky blue fucking suit jacket just to wear it again.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So
They celebrate it more.
Gordy's there with his jacket on with fucking State of Origin, his number and that. Like, we don't have that. We probably should have that. If that was given to me, I would wear it. I would, and it would be an honour to wear. But I'm not going to go out there. I've got a
you make one?
I've got a sky blue fucking suit, but it ain't for Origin.
Yeah.
For the races.
Yeah.
It's for the races.
It's getting after it.
Yeah.
Going on Caulfield Cup.
So I went off a tangent then, but like that's the difference in the mentality of like Queensland, New South Wales. We're just rocking up in normal suits going, yeah, fucking Origin's just Origin. They're like, no, this is a fucking religion.
Full kit all
Full
the time.
kit all day, 24/7.
For the OGs.
Fucking, yeah, the OGs love it.
Yeah. And you know where the OGs love? The Mad Cow. Shout out to the Mad Cow for hosting not only us, but the girls as well after the Origin game. So moving on to the game for Women's Origin, I thought there was two really big moments that cost New South Wales a chance of not winning the game, because they did win the game, but winning the series. So the second penalty goal from Jesse Southwell, they were down 14-10 and they're losing already going into this game, 8 points on aggregate.
Yeah, okay.
And they get a repeat set, a penalty, 15 metres out in the middle, like right in front, and they take the kick to go 14-12. You've got to score tries. Like,
it's fucking weird, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, New South Wales just don't get coaching it.
It's fucking
at that
awful.
level, mate,
when we were sitting there watching it and just going, what the fuck are you doing?
Why did they take that?
You got to go for the points.
Yeah.
You're down there on their line.
You're down. You're not down by 4 points.
This is not a fucking game where it's like, we need to score. I mean, we don't need to score. We're cool.
Yeah.
No, I don't understand.
But even like 14-10, like part of it would make sense if it was 14-12 to go to 14-all to then kick, maybe, but you're still going to be down 8
this
anyway.
Is foot on throat mentality. You got to go.
It was an awful decision from the coaches. And also, again, I'm going to put this down to poor coaching as well. I'm not familiar with who the coach is for the women's game, but I will just say Jessie Southwell had a really good game. She was really good. She bounced back from, I think all the girls for New South Wales were rusty in game one, but it took her like a minute to kick that goal with 2 minutes to go in the game. They needed opportunities to score.
You know, one thing I do know with the coaching, you have the opportunity to fucking yell some shit out in the trainer's ears so they can get out there and tell the fucking kickers what's going on.
Send down some fucking
a lot of
communication.
Shit, get out there, and you've got about 10 seconds and you get out there. Just why the trainers come on and off so many times.
She was lining up Leah's going.
What's the coaches doing at that time?
Send down a fucking call.
What are they doing at that time? Just going, yeah, take your time, darling. That's good.
Make sure
good
you get
option.
it.
Make sure we get it because we need to get this
from in front.
One thing I don't like in this whole thing I'm saying on record, this is the worst fucking like criteria of an Origin I've ever seen. I just don't understand.
3 games?
You've got to give him 3. Like, I just don't get it. We're just sitting up there going, this is fucking stupid.
Well, it was a sour feeling, right?
Yeah.
So when after the game was finished and the girls come in, they celebrated hard. Shout out to the Queensland girls. Come in, full Queensland kit.
Yeah, they're going hard.
Except for the boots. They just swapped the shoes on. Come into the Mad Cow. They had the trophy in with them.
I saw it.
I got to catch up with... you know how I love the Queensland number 6s. Taryn Aiken, anytime jam too.
I know.
Got me a little winner.
No,
Had a picture with Taryn Aiken and all the girls. But fuck me, give the girls 3 games. Like that was the first game, and I feel sorry for them because they hadn't played any footy leading into that game. There was like maybe 4 or 5 weeks gap from the local competitions that they both played. And they were obviously underdone. It was a slippery surface at Parramatta. But they definitely showed that they deserve 3 games. And I dare say the higher-ups will be putting on 3 games.
I was just thinking, I was like, when we were up there, just as a fan, I'm like, I would want to see Queensland win. So it doesn't feel fucking so weird like it did there. I told you that before. Or I'm thinking maybe it's a good thing if New South Wales wins. So whoever's fucking doing this for the women, look at it and go, this is fucking stupid.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
So at least they look at each other, this is the fucking dumbest thing anyone's ever set up. So that's what I was saying. I was like, either Queensland win and they go, fuck yeah, Queensland won, who cares? Or New South Wales win and make them look at each other and go, this looks fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
So it does look pathetic. So get the shit right and get 3 fucking games. I don't care when they play. They should play at the end of the WNRL. And then they're all fit. They don't just fucking... It'd be like us having no preseason and then going straight into an origin. That's what it's like for these girls. You have 3... let's have 3 trials and then go into origin. It doesn't happen. You've got to build up into that shit.
Yeah. I think this time next year will be sweet, though, because it took forever for their CBA to get sorted with what's going on with our CBA. So there'll be footy on before it leading into this, and I think it'll all just flow in
Totally
nicely.
understand, but it should be just... I don't know if they want to stand alone, if they want to do whatever, but just give them 3 games.
Do you like the idea of just say they play 3 games? The game is obviously thriving with the numbers that they get. Having 1 game out of those 3, if they do get to 3 games in front of the boys at the away venue when they go to the away venue.
Before. If we play in Adelaide, let them play before that. If that's game 1, 2, or 3.
Yes.
But the other ones, stand alone. Take it to Townsville, take it to Parra.
Done.
And I think that should sort everything out.
I think we've solved it.
So listen to us and get your shit together, whoever's organising that shit show.
Yep. Well, talking about getting organised, Manly is reportedly set to sign West Tigers half Luke Brooks. We broke that. Yeah. It is done. He is there. All right. So let's get into the details of the Luke Brooks now. We broke it, half an hour ago, but you're going to get this 24 hours after it's come out. So something doesn't add up here, Mace. Luke Brooks, Daly Cherry Evans, Josh Schuster, even the young gun, Latu Fainu, who has been floated around last week. So I'm not too sure if there's any more that will break in between now and then, but where does this make sense for Manly? Who's on? Someone's got to be on the outer. And there's been rumbles around Josh Schuster now for a while.
For sure.
Ches is getting a little bit older. He's one of my good mates, but he's 33.
Can still run the team around, mate.
Well, and Latu Fainu, he got signed on I believe it was a $1 million deal, a 3-year, $1 million deal, a year ago. He's the youngster that was coming through. They've got massive raps on him. So if Brooks is, he's done now. It's been confirmed.
Yeah. 4 years
Where does this leave the other 3? Who ends up staying with them and who's
and we spoke about who they've just signed as well. Koala.
Yep. So he's signed. They've got Jake Arthur and Cooper Johns as backups.
I just think Schuster, he's probably got 10 games to prove to everyone what he's about. Because you hear his manager asking for a ridiculous amount of money. You're not paying on potential. No one's paying on potential anymore. You got to have the runs on the board. So I think he either sucks it up and takes it as a challenge and plays his best football and gets another contract somewhere else, gets a good deal, or he gets hardly fucking anything from Manly. And he can be either they go, we want you to be a ball playing lock. This would be a couple of things from the coaching staff. We want you to play like that. But that means you need to defend better. That means you need to play massive minutes in the middle. He can barely manage that on the edge as a 3-man.
So you see him as a middle. I
just think his skill set shows that he's a middle.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to run the ball that much.
Well, I assumed, right, if this was going to get done, that Marshall would have been a good... Because you remember not Marshall, Schuster could have been a part of a swap to go to the Tigers with Brooks coming over. But I think Benji's come out yesterday and said that he's not interested in...
Well, I think he's not really doing he's not doing himself any justice, right? If you're the Bulldogs, if you're the Titans, if you're anything like that, and everyone's so wrapped up in these fucking ball-playing locks because it's changed the game. But no one plays like Cam Murray. There's only one Cam Murray. There's only one Isaiah Yeo, Jake Trbojevic, and Victor Radley, I reckon. Yep. Everyone else needs to just play into their systems and just fucking go as they please. Play to your cattle.
Here we go. Here's some of the news. I'm just reading some of this. So this is on the Sydney Morning Herald. This was yesterday. This is from Shamus. So... Schuster was floated. It comes as Manly and the West West Tigers finalise an immediate swap deal that will see Tommy Talau depart and go to Manly. In return, they're going to get Latu Fainu.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair deal.
With Tigers' hopes, they could also yield his older brother Samwala too.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
I just think, and I think he's got 10 games right now, pretty much to fight for his career, the young Schuster kid. Because everyone's going to go, all right, he's got a good skill set, right? But he needs to get fit. He doesn't like defending. There's fucking all these minuses on his name. He's got a massive skill set. No look pass and all that sort of shit, ball playing skills. But this is a systematic player. He needs to be in a really good system. He's not going to go to another club and they're not going to build the system around him. Does he play in the middle? Like if I was an opposition forward, I'd fucking love him to play in the middle.
I like him at 6.
I think, I'm just saying, but like they'd be going, well, Brooksy's going to be
Oh, yeah,
6.
no, I like him at 6 regardless. So
Just say if he went to another club, right, and you need a 6, Titans need a 6.
Yeah.
Does he go straight into the Titans team? Does he go into any team straight away? Or has he got to fight for his position? He pretty much fights for his position in every club.
Fuck, that's an interesting take on the Titans because I know Desi was working hard with him. He dropped him at the end. Desi dropped him at the end of the year too, but that was at back row. They got Fozzie up there and Tanner Boyd. Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's going to be hard for him to find another gig where he's going to be that player. Like I know his manager's probably asking for ridiculous money, which will
I think that's the main problem.
All other teams will be like, please, we're not touching him for fucking less than 500. Do you know what I mean? You're not paying because it's not proven. He hasn't been out in the field. He's had some really good moments when it's all silky and going really good.
His good is as good as most fucking.
He has. His upside is massive, but his downside is fucking fatal. You know what I mean? These are the little things that he needs to take on board. If he goes to these head coaches and they'll pick fucking holes in his game. If you come and talk to Ciro or something like that, he'll just go this, and this. Like these head coaches are brutal. There's all the footage on you. So it's like if he wants to go somewhere else, go, this is what I'm good at. It ain't a fucking highlights deal. These are all the little nitty-gritty things that are you willing to do to be involved in these are the standards that you need to reach to be involved in our club team.
So do you think you're in your like I haven't had chat. Everyone knows I'm close with DCE. I don't chat to him about this shit when it comes up because this is his livelihood. You think DCE is 100% safe?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Or if he's not safe, he's safe somewhere else.
Yeah.
If it's not proven,
could you see a world in which it's Schuster and Brooks or nah?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst combination in the whole fucking comp. You know what I mean? Like I'd prefer like
it's the ultimate rocks and diamonds. I reckon at its peak, at its best, it could be as good as anything. But you're right, the floor was pretty bad as well.
Yes, you need DCE there, man. He's going to go down as one of their greatest players.
Yeah,
and he's probably playing his best football this year for a couple of years.
Playing good.
Or you come back in Origin, fucking. I don't know. Like Schuster, he's got some fucking really big games to come up because his fucking career's probably on the line. How old is Schuster?
Oh. I don't. Yeah, you're talking a bit doom and gloom there with career. He is still young. He's 21. He's 21.
I can see it.
He's 21, 22.
I know what coaches look for as sixes, man.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to move into the middle and play that tough shit. Does he want to play like Victor Radley? I don't think so.
Well, I don't think that's his position. So I wouldn't be playing in the middle regardless. At worst, back row, but it's almost if his mindset's not to defend in the middle, then you can't. Like, there's no point in putting him there. He wants to play 6. So if you're buying him, you've got to buy him to play 6, or else you're going to potentially be in the position that they're in now as well.
Yeah, he's in a tough position, man. I'm telling you. I know what coaches like. He doesn't fit that criteria. The skill set is high. I'm telling you, the skill set is so high, but.
I'm just trying to see if there's any updated news on it at all, but no, that seems to be it. Moving on to the other big decision. Now, this has been going on for a while. The Dragons have officially blocked Ben Hunt's request for a release this morning, Mace. They went into a meeting. I think he laid out all the cards. Benny Hunt told him he wants out. You mentioned it before. The rumours were circulating over the weekend that his intentions were to finish off the season with the Broncos and potentially sign at either the Titans or your Bulldogs,
next year, right?
Which would make it hard for the Dragons to get compensation. Yeah. So I think this is the biggest thing that's going to hold this up. If he wants to move on, then he has to forego going to the Broncos. Even though the romantic side of me would love to see Benny Hunt undo that wrong that happened to him in 2015 when he drops the ball off the kickoff in the GF. They are clear favourites to win the competition if he goes there, in my opinion. The Broncos, despite the loss against the Titans, everyone takes an L.
Does he go straight in the 9?
I think he would play 9 at the Broncos.
Yeah. Has to. You're not taking Ezra Mann or
No,
Reynolds out.
I don't think you move either of them out there. And then also you have Billy Walters who can play 14 and cover both
he's
positions.
the perfect pick. If you had your you can't blame him for trying.
Yeah.
You can't. Like
can't.
he goes, I want to, because he said it clearly, I want to win a premiership. Well, he ain't going to go anywhere else but the Broncos.
Yep.
And
it's only going to be short term.
Or Penrith or something like, and you're not really going to allow that if
He
you're any
wouldn't
other
even go
team.
to Penrith.
I'm just saying, the only two people, or South or something like that, ridiculous, that they are going to win the comp. Because you don't say those words just fucking willy-nilly, right? He wants that was in his head, and it probably looked like it could happen.
Well, thoughts on this from the Red V, all right? So they're digging their heels in.
Yeah.
They're still working on something, surely.
Yeah, I can see.
I'd love to see it for Hunty because I'd love to see Hunty win a comp at the Broncos. It'd be pretty cool. And I'm not even a Broncos supporter.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But if I'm the Dragons, I'm playing hardball. And if he wants to go to the Titans long term, which was reported, or the Bulldogs, give me young players. Dig your heels in.
You'd hate Des Hasler, Ben Hunt. You'd hate him. You'd hate him. Love you, Des. Man, this is a really odd situation. Have we ever seen anything like this?
No.
I just want to finish the back end. I want to win a grand final. Then I'll deal with you, Titans, Bulldogs, or whoever's my next suitors, right? I don't know how you do it, but there's like the Bronco. Just say what cards do they have left? St. George or Benny Hunt? Now I think they're going to sit in there and go, let's work something out.
I think Dragons have all the cards in this.
You reckon?
Yep.
But they won't have the balls just to sit him, right? Ooh. Hold on to the release. Hold on to the release. You can't sit. You can't. That's the biggest thing. Like they're going to come into the fucking stalemate and go, all right, well,
they play on Thursday night,
or even for next year or
they
something
play
like
on
that.
Thursday night
Let's not let him go full stop and just be a stubborn prick. And him going, all right, I'll sit a whole year. And they're like, will you sit a whole year and sit there and paying 1.2 mil or something like that and let a kid sit
like Gordy did back in the day.
Gordy's got it. Gordy said it because Gordy's about that shit.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't think they have the balls, both of them, to go, fucking, all right, you sit and I'll sit. And like, it's just no one wins. You want to see Ben Hunt happy. I want St. George to get some sort of compensation. I do. But if he doesn't want to come back there and be a part of the fucking future, which is on Thursday, you know what I mean? This is not for next year. This is this year. You don't even want to play out the whole fucking year with these guys.
So do you not believe the Dragons and they're not willing to move on from Ben Hunt?
I don't believe the Dragons.
Do you think this is a statement and they're trying to work on it?
Yeah, they're trying to. They'll go, of course you're going to come out front foot and go, fuck, please.
So do I.
We don't want you to have a release. At the end of the day, money talks. They want some compensation. They want to get some money back for what he's got.
Want a player?
Yeah, and we want something. Yeah, exactly. We talked about this last week. This is how it works. This is a business. You've got to look at Ben Hunt not as a person. Don't take it personally with him, St. George fans or any other fans. This is a fucking business. He's not happy. This is a way, because as a former player, I've seen a lot of players come in and out that door.
Yeah.
And there's no fucking farewell tour for the guys. Next club. Can you get a fucking minimum wage job? All that sort of shit. So fuck it. This people don't like it because it's not involved. This is not the narrative that the NRL want.
Yeah.
Right? This is a guy who knows what position he is. He knows what sort of fucking power he's got, and he's wielding it. NRL don't like it. St. George don't like it. The game don't like it because NRL's always in control. Well, you're not this time because we've seen it. We've seen a lot of our fucking brothers come in and out. Fuck off. You know
I was
what I mean?
at Parramatta on 200,000 my last year.
You've seen it. You've seen the infamous Ricky Stewart board flip over.
Ricky didn't want me, so I ended up going to Manly next year.
You had 2 years on your contract?
1 year left.
Yeah, some people have 2 or 3 years on their contract.
Yep.
Done. Go find another club. So that's the fucking hard truth of it all, fans. This doesn't seem like this all the time because the players aren't players in a power position. They usually aren't. Ben Hunt's in a power position.
Yep. And so Dragons, and they've got to take advantage of it.
They've just got to work it out. This is not going to be fucking that harsh.
But they weren't on Thursday night last week, which brings us to
our
review.
The media won't let it play out like that, but...
Yeah. Which brings us to round 17 review of last week, and the Dragons were well and truly not in a power position. Warriors did a number on them. Mace, how far can the Warriors go this year? And has Shawnee Johnson hit the lead? Is he the front runner for Dally M now, today?
Yeah, I think he is because you got a few games on Payne Haas and
right.
Cody Walker was out for 3 weeks or something like that.
Yep.
Trell's come back down. So this is SJ. It would be accumulating a lot, I reckon, in the last 4 weeks. I'd say 12 points. Give him 12.
Well, you can get a maximum of 6 points now because there are
Well,
2 judges.
Give him 24 then.
Yeah.
fuck it.
Well,
He could be.
I reckon Adam would have snuck a couple of points as well.
But like when they win, he wins.
Yeah.
You know, and you got 3 or 2, so he's coming in with 4 or fucking.
What about the other question? How far can the
Yes.
Warriors go?
What did I say last week? Did you back the Dragons? Did I end up talking you into backing the Dragons?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid, wasn't it? Because I was about to flip.
I
nearly talked myself into backing the Dragons.
I got the Warriors head to head, but I took the Dragons at
Okay,
the start, and
right.
that got fucking blown out of the water in the first.
And I said, I trust the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
It's a trust thing as a supporter and as one of, like just looking at the game going, yeah, I think they can come to St. George at this moment now and get it and get the job done.
They're
It's
that
weird.
team.
They're that team that can come in, fucking kick your ass. Not you have to wait for a Saturday night at Ericsson, Mount Smart.
Ericsson, OG Ericsson.
At Mount Smart and wait for them to fucking bash you there. No, they're coming over here now. They're used to playing here. The mentality is
Mate,
here.
my question is, how far can the Warriors go?
Second round, I reckon.
Top 4? Do you think they're a top 4 preliminary team?
No, like 6, 7.
6? Fuck, they're starting to. I was the same as you. They're starting to
because
convince
Melbourne's
me.
fucking doing that shit as well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only reason.
So we've got Broncos, Penrith, and Rabbitohs up there.
Yeah,
Even though the Rabbitohs are in 8th
Melbourne
right now.
is at 4th.
Melbourne is the 4th.
And then Cronulla and Warriors are that 5 and 6.
Oh man,
You reckon?
I'd prefer the Warriors over the Wars right. I mean, the Warriors over the Sharks right now. If you give me at the end of the year right now, you pick it. The Sharks are at 4th, Warriors are at 5th. There are some teams coming. I even like the Cowboys better than a lot of the other teams as well.
The Cowboys are
which
back
we'll
in
get
my
to.
top 8.
Yeah.
No, I think they'll fall about the 5 and 6 mark and probably give it a fucking fair
I
crack.
think they're going to get to a preliminary final this year. There you go.
All I'm saying is they'll win that first one.
Yep.
They'll win the first one. They'll go into that second one, depending on whether it's
Who they come up against.
Yeah, like it's going to be hard. They get Penrith out there.
Well,
if Penrith lose that first one.
Okay, yeah,
something
there you
like
go.
something
So you
stupid
need
like
a big
that.
team to lose.
A big one.
Okay. All
A
right.
Bronx or a Penrith to lose that first one, and then the poor Warriors have to go get them at their home ground. That's the one that they'll get beating.
There you go, Waz fans.
Then they'll build for next year. They'll build again. Then they'll fucking probably be like a top 6 team all fucking year. I don't know. That's what it feels
nicely.
like. Feels like that.
Congrats to Bomber, Jack DeBellum, 200 games, been through a shitload.
Yeah, jeez.
Benny Hunt's decision. Does it affect the team? Did it affect the team? Or was this just who I wrote down? I think this is just who the Dragons and Warriors are.
Yeah.
I think
At this point in time, this is
Yeah.
exactly who they are. It's
Yeah.
exactly what I said last week. This is the team that I think they are. I trust them. I don't know. Things seem to just be happening at the Dragons all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
It just sucks.
Shout out to the little cousin too, Dallin Watson-Zelezniak. I just want to mention him as well because a couple of years ago he was at the Dogs. He was struggling for form, really down on confidence. I remember speaking to the family about it. And I think he was trying to do too much. And I think the beauty of what Webster's done now at the Warriors is he's got all these guys playing within themselves, whether it's Chance Nickel-Klogstad, who lost, fell out of favour at the Raiders, found a new home. Marcelo Montoya, who also was, really struggling at the Bulldogs. I sent a piece on him earlier the year. He's completely off social media. Webster is doing he's coach of the year already, straight off the. I don't think that one's a debate. I think he deserves coach of the year already, and I think he's a lock, almost a lock if they had odds on it. He's really got all these players across the board believing in themselves, and he's got the fans believing in him even more so.
It's crazy, right? A couple of players here that are just in the moment of their career that needed a little bit of belief in a good system. Like having Dallin back in New Zealand is fucking. He's gone like that because he's a Maori boy at heart, man. He loves that.
New Zealand skipper 3 years ago.
Yeah, like he's New Zealand personified. And Montoya, man, I've never seen a back three run harder. Scary,
bro. They were kick returns and the way they even when they wedge and they hit
they hit you. They know if you're a back row and shit and they come wedging, it's like Francis Melly. Like that.
That's a big grab too. All right, the Dolphins lost to the Eels 20-48. Mace, I suppose the scoreline doesn't reflect how dominant the Eels were. I mean, 48 points is dominant, but it was like 44-0 or 44-4 at half time.
Over.
The Eels blew them off the park, OG, but do you think BA will be disappointed that they didn't put them away?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard in these. You've been in games where it's like, it was 44-0 at half time. It's like, fuck. You always see that the second half team, or when the one who's on 40, come back a little bit more, right? It barely goes to 80, right? Because of that the mindset of the losing mentality coming out and trying to have some respect on the board.
Get to next week as
Just
well.
get to next week. Let's have some fucking positive vibes about it. And the Dolphins did all right to get back to 20 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to expect that, especially fans. Like you got to understand, like when you're in there and you're getting smashed, pretty much the coach ain't saying shit, is he?
Well, what would Wayne be saying?
Not much. Nothing.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Get through your sets. Be first to score. Blah blah blah. And then go from there. Because they've been in a position like that before, but it wasn't 44 points.
I'll tell you who's fucking really, really good was Will Penasini.
Yeah, he's come up this year, hasn't he?
He's stringing about a 4 or 5 week. Obviously Gutho's doing Gutho. Brycey Cartwright's been
he's been good.
Like another player that's been really improved. I think Will Penasini's really starting to come into his own. He had really big raps when he come in. He had a really good first season, I believe. Then he sort of just plateaued for a little bit, sort of just stayed at that level, waiting for him to ascend. But I think he's really kicked on the last 5 or 6 weeks. And with that and him and Bailey Simonson, it does make them a genuine threat again. Like we mentioned
when they
some
go
teams
his
before.
way, you expect him to do something now.
Regan Campbell-Gillard's come back and he's been a big plus for him as well.
I think we said last week they've made a run at the back end of the year, which could be fucking pretty good. Lost their first 5 games? Everyone was writing them off.
They lost 4 out of their first 5, but they had a really tough draw. Remember, they played teams off the bye. They had
by 2 points, 2 or 3 points.
They had all their back rowers out. Jermaine Hopgood, during that time, has established himself as not only the buy of the year, he's one of the form. Billy Slater would be watching Jermaine Hopgood.
Is he Queenslander?
He's Queenslander.
He's got Ruben Cotter written all over him.
Yeah.
Fuck. I think the Eels are good. So it's a credit to BA and that system out there and the culture that they've got.
He's done it again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Jermaine Hopgood.
If you ever doubted him, like, and I think they re-signed him. They're like, "Why we re-signed him?" I was talking to some Para fans when they were 0-5.
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's got a good system out there. You just got a lot of players out, and you got a fucking hard run.
He's done well to hold his nerve during this period. Like Mitch Moses' contract negotiations, Dylan Brown's situation that's ongoing. Ryan Madison doesn't play the first 3 or 4 games through that suspension last year. Sean Lane was arguably their best forward last year. He's been out for long periods of the year, but he's gone and developed guys like Jermaine Hopgood, Brycey Cartwright, Brendan Hands. He's got a real knack of developing players that I don't think a lot of people, have ever given him the credit for.
Yeah, I think he's developed a really fucking winning culture out of Parramatta because they just went settled. Like the leaders in that team must be really even keel. It says a lot about Gutho, even Mitch Moses, Junior, and Reg. I dare say that would be their leadership group.
Yep.
Maybe someone else like a Sean Lane or something like that. Pretty even keel bunch out there, and they know what system they're in. They've got a good culture out there, so I reckon they're my smoking man.
Yeah.
To make a really good run. Especially because of guys like Penasini that have come out of their skin. When they go to his way, I'm like, fuck,
if they take the
line
next
breaks
step,
and shit, man. Like, you're thinking, and he's setting shit
see
up all the time. Yeah, man.
Around,
He's got a. Everyone's saying he's like a Jennings. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah,
because he moves like it.
All right, Panthers versus the Knights, 20-12. Mace, I wrote this, and I don't like to see people get sacked, but surely Adam O'Brien, he would be under heavy pressure, right? Yeah. So I've got his stats for the last couple of years. 2 7th place finishes when he first started, so obviously really good, but he gets bang, bang. They got knocked out in the first round in both first couple of years. So they're pretty good considering where they'd come from. Last year, 14th, and they're currently sitting in 14th again. I think the biggest thing...
Similar rosters too, right?
Similar rosters.
Not much of a change in the last 4 years, right?
Mate, Safidi brothers have played Origin. Kalen should be an Origin player. Should be. If it wasn't for
top 10 talent all the time.
If it wasn't for his moving Kalen to 6, I reckon this should be. If he was ever to lose a job, it'd be because Kalen is not playing Origin because he played front line and got knocked out.
100%. And we said this in the off season. Like Kalen's going to, of course, he's going to say, "Yeah, I'm good. I want to play 6." What else are you going to do?
Yeah. He's not a confrontational guy.
He's not a sook. He's not going to go against the status quo at the club or the head coach and this and that. Like he's going to run with it and he's going to do his thing.
Yeah,
that's why I'm come back and bite him on the ass. We said this, man. 6 months ago we said this.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I'm looking at that. Panthers not one Origin player.
Well, here we go. I've got a quote from Christian Welsh at the press conference before it started. So let me tell you what it is for people that didn't see it. How did the Knights not win? He said to Craig Bellamy with like a little cheeky smirk. Penrith didn't have anyone. They played the Knights in 2 or 3 weeks. Welsh, well and truly, Christian Welsh is a smart dude. he knew the mics were on.
You're not going near a mic in a presser thinking,
there's plenty
belly,
in that.
you know, dude, belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, yeah, whatever.
What are you talking for, you fuckwit? I just think that is pretty petty. I mean, they're trying to make it up. Oh, what are you going to do around fucking 20-something? It's a game. You know what I mean? What's just do something about it, Newcastle.
But it's facts.
Yeah, it is. Like,
it's facts.
It's not like he's not talking shit. So
even the Knights fans would be going, he's fucking.
But I'm like, everybody
right.
who watched that game, who plays footy or doesn't play footy, go, Penrith didn't have any fucking rep players in there backing up.
Yeah.
And that's where
I'm
like, just do it.
Little Lukey, before we move on, he sent me a text. Eels killing them on points differential. Yes, Lukey, we're paying attention. You also texted us during the game when they were up 44-4, and then they only scored one more try, and Hamaso ended up scoring two of the best. So don't jinx them, brother. Yeah.
What do you? Yeah,
they had to get the job done. The Knights had to win that. I picked the Knights in that game. Someone messaged me and goes, "You surely knew that all the Penrith players were out." I actually didn't.
No, you didn't.
I thought that Knights team could even beat the Penrith team with the Luais and the Crichtons and those guys backing up, because I thought they might have been a bit dusty. I liked it even more once I got to the game and all of them were out. And I just don't know how they didn't get the job done.
Yeah, I watched the game. I was like, wow. And then what do you think about
Ivan Cleary?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll get into it. Ivan Cleary wrests all his Origin plays. You like it or do you hate it?
I like it.
Yeah, so do
a
I.
Good mentality. I mean, but it's different when you've got a team like that, right?
Well, do you reckon his decision changed when he seen his son go down and do his groin straight after Origin 1?
Yeah, 100%. And a heap of other players.
And I'd understand that too. Not only his son, but it's the best player in the competition.
But it's the narrative, right?
Second best player.
You've got to back up from Origin, and the best players always back up from Origin.
That was the narrative. That's been the narrative.
It's always
for a long
been
time.
the narrative. When do we change it? But he's probably thinking about changing it because he has the team to change it. Like even when we used to come back up.
That's a good point.
It's not like he ain't coming back in the Titans and he's not getting fucking rocks or diamonds. He's got Leota, he's got Fish, he's got Sorensen, all Kiwi representatives.
Yep.
Mitch Kenny's a fucking dog. He just smacks the shit out of everyone.
Dylan Edwards.
You got Tungo, and you got all these guys that they could do a job. You just add that fucking proper flavour, you know, the Origin players, just that class. And you fucking near beat everyone.
You know what's a good point that he brought up as well? Like people don't underestimate not only the physical part of it, but the mental. Yeah. You know, all the noise around Jerome after the Origin and what that has effect. Like just Jerome not having to worry about footy after all that shit that had happened after the game and all the noise that had come with it. That would have just been as soon as I'd imagine all the boys. I don't know them well. I don't know them personally. Yeah. But every competitor doesn't want to miss footy. I never wanted to miss a game in my life. But there's a part of you that goes, when they take that decision away from you, you go, well, that's nice. I don't mind.
You got to. You can never.
You can't ask the players because they'll play.
Will never make that decision for you. But I'm like, I think Cleary, if he went, Ivan Cleary goes, all right, you have an arrest. You have an arrest. No Origin players are playing.
Yeah.
You're not going to. This is
it's
not a prelim, man. This is not a prelim. This is round 18.
Yeah.
We're around 17. You're not backing up after 2 days of fucking playing and you just got beat. He understands the mentality of what these players go through. It's not the 90s, it's not the 2000s when there's no noise. You concentrate on playing the game. You love all your mates and all that kind of stuff, your family, and you just play. Now it's just that noise there. You know, the Instagram, the Facebook, the forums, the fucking Channel 9, the Fox, everyone's got fucking podcasts, this, talking, fucking compounding all this shit. Some of these kids are only human. Understand that. Kids are human. And they're just fucking human beings that play a game, and that's about it.
Yeah, I like it. If I'm Ivan Cleary, I'm doing this.
You coach me any day, Ivan.
You got to be in a position of power too, though, to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great
As
point.
I
Said before.
When he's not going to go back to the Tigers, have five Tigers players out.
So if Upi Carousel, Stefano Ikamano come back from Origin and you're the Tigers, you're not going, have the week off, boys.
No, it's a different mentality because
you?
You don't have everyone else, and you are our best players. You are what make us win.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's the difference. When you got, I mean, I used to come back and Sonny Bill and Roy, Matt Utai, Willie Talau, Nigel Vungana, Paul Rahihi, they're all New Zealand players, man. Jamal Alessi.
Yeah.
Fuck, mate. We got you. We got it.
It's nice to have those.
It's nice, man. It's nice, and he's got that, so he can speak like this, and people either take it like it is or fucking really dissect it like that. So, there's a win in that.
Yeah, I agree. Just before we move off, I think Peachy, if Panthers are going to do something special this year, he's going to be the X factor,
Does he play 14? He just come on off the bench. You
I
don't
think
know
so.
what he does. He's just
Well,
he's just that sort of dude that is just fucking annoying.
Well, they've got him and Jamin Salmon, both who can play that 14 versatile role.
Yes. Salmon probably, fuck. That's similar. It's a similar play right there.
Yeah.
Because Peach can play lock, back row. He's tough, man. He can play anywhere. Probably play more positions than Salmon. So they're both going for that position. I think fucking Peach is going, fuck, I want to make a run here.
Yeah.
I need to play my best football.
Try to win a comp before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Storm versus Seagulls, 24-6. This scoreline probably doesn't do this contest justice, I don't think, mate. So I think early on, both teams were super desperate. I thought Manly were even controlling the game quite well. They get a nice little kick for Olakau'atu to score off Chez's kick. But Melbourne, just typical Melbourne, defended for long periods, and then in the second half, big nasty goes bang, bang. Munster misses the game. He was bedridden before Origin, so another...
No, he was at Crook. That's what I heard from Billy and a few other reports.
Yeah, so had a chat to him just, before and after the game. There's a proper chance of missing this game. I like what Welshie again said in the press conference after, said that he had Caxtonitis.
It's a true thing.
Again, missing... For what he did in Origin and then obviously missing this game, he must have been fucking super crook.
The flights and everything would have killed him as well.
Yeah.
It's underrated. Who's the young kid that played 6?
Jonah Pezzett.
Fuck, he's got some skill, man.
Yeah, he's nice.
I think it's going to be like just...
He's won a brace as well.
Is his size.
He's won a brace.
He's a Kiri mode, right?
He's only 19.
He's
I reckon he's got some growing in him.
Yeah, I reckon too.
He does have some...
fucking got all the
He's
skills,
got enough...
man.
You can see he's got enough base. He's not like Sammy Walker. You could see that Sammy Walker is almost fully developed. I think Jonah Pezzett's got a bit of growing.
He's got like 5-6 kilo of muscle to get on. He's nice.
Yeah, he's braced. He's won a brace too.
Yeah. But
Brace
like
got
just
him
a
and
little
Munster.
kick and everything in. I'm just like, that was under high pressure too.
Yeah.
The Eagles were coming at him, just like little dummy left foot. I was like, fucking hell.
Chasing that kick, good put down under pressure too. Olakau'atu screaming down his neck.
You'd want a young kid like who's come through that system, right?
I reckon he's...
Learning from the Hugheses, learning from the Munster, learning from the fucking Craig Bellamy's to come into a Sydney
Billy
system.
Slaters.
Billy's, like...
Billy still goes down and does work with the back
But like
five.
you think if he come into a system, you'd be backing him, going, he's from good cattle.
Yeah, he could be the next one to come through. Harry Grant. They've still got Jerome and Munster on big deals, so it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Interesting to see, exactly.
A lot of teams would be going...
In 2 years...
There's not many good young halves coming through.
That's what I mean. I'm looking at these and he's got all the fundamentals and everything that like a good 6 should have.
Yeah,
6 or 7. He's just a half. He plays. He sees what's in front of him. Like he's coming into one of the best systems and he don't look out of place.
Well, I'll tell you who looks out of place is the Manly Seagulls without Tommy Turbo. They do get, you hear this, they get salary cap relief because the injury happened in Origin where they've got some salary cap now to go after a few players. Obviously,
it's the only bonus.
Maybe Tommy Talal comes over and that gives them the freedom to leave Ruben Garrick at fullback.
If Ruben Garrick didn't play, this would have been 40.
Yeah, he was
saved that many tries. Yeah. Just like by the end of it, they just keep beating down his door. Yeah. Big Nasty goes through, right foot, slippery fucking ground.
I would have slipped over too if Big Nasty comes through.
He slipped over, Rubes. No, he did legit.
Yeah.
Big right foot, fucking Amy Parks, awful.
Nasty's I reckon he's the closest comparison to you. Size, footwork, speed that he can like. Like I said, I'm slipping over on purpose, but he generally got gas.
He got him.
He got him.
Just fucking bang off his right. He's so important. They look like they're nice right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
No injuries. Jerome had his few little injuries here and there. Nas had a few at the start. Now
they've been injured for about 18 months.
And there you see, like everything's clicking.
Last year.
Everything's clicking.
Remus Smith last year.
He looks good.
Yep.
They look good.
Yeah. Xavier Coates last year was injured.
Xavier Coates is a beast. I fucking underestimate what he did in that Origin game. Then I saw this game and said, he is that dude.
Yeah.
He is it.
Yeah, he was close to the dog of the week as well.
Mate, like how hard that he was running, the tries that he's scoring. He scored 3 tries. Was it Coates in this game?
2.
2?
Yeah.
But he looked dangerous, man.
Well,
he attacks, right? Yeah. So if you're at A and B, like, because he's got that good footwork and he's fucking 6'5", he can skip real quick. And if you don't close it in between between the markers and A, he goes through.
Yeah.
Because he runs so fucking direct.
Yeah,
he's dangerous, mate.
He almost runs like gangly. Eh?
He's hard.
He's like a fucking.
I know what it is. But it's like, but it's powerful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not many times that he gets put on his back unless someone hits him through the middle like a Victor Radley. Yeah. So if he's coming at you, most big guys love tackling big guys up top. He's fucking gangly. He will get you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Moving on to the Broncos versus Titans. This was a really good game. 12-18 and well-deserved from the Titans. Titans star AJ Brimson and interim coach Jim Lenihan have spoken of their shock about the news of Justin Holbrook's sacking last Thursday. Now, after everything has unfolded, Mace, we broke.
Yeah,
This broke. So the details. You want to know the details?
Yeah, I need the details. Like
so he had a clause. Part of the clause,
right?
He had to be at a certain part of the season on the ladder by that part of the season, or the Titans had a clause where they could sack him and they don't have to pay him anything.
Must have been the top 4.
But no, I think it was even just top 8, mate. Because they were
not in the top.
Nah, they were just outside. They were
by points differential. That's about it.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Wow. Okay.
Well, they're still sitting in 9th now. So
he would have been going for that run that I was just saying before.
Yeah, those games that they lost,
killed, like literally cost his fucking position.
Cost him his job.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So people have been blowing up because it's pretty ruthless. I don't think he had an idea that it was coming. It completely caught everyone off guard. So I've got 2 theories. Oh, I want to ask you a question. What would you prefer? The way that Holbrook was sacked, where it was like, fuck, you had no idea, bang, you're done? Or what's happened to Anthony Griffin? Where it was like,
it was just years upon years.
Year and a half of being sacked. Which one would you prefer?
I'd rather what happened to me, like you said, Holbrook. Yeah,
so would I.
Not even know. I'm just like, fuck it. But the worst thing is like, Griffin gets his money.
That's true.
That's the worst. I would rather be Griffin because he did not know this, and he didn't know he wasn't going to get paid for the rest of the year.
Well, he knew it was a possibility, but I don't think he's seen it coming.
He would have been thinking, "No, I'm good.
Now, my other theory is, you know a little bit about Desi. You've heard stories about Desi. No one had an idea that this was. I do stuff with SEN. I speak to Jimmy Smith. We spoke to Brett and Morley. We're doing a call with them last night. No one had an inkling that this was coming. Do you remember there was Wayne Bennett was almost done at the Roosters back in the day, and he said one of the things to make sure, I'll come and do this if no one finds out that I'm about to take this job, and then
they found out.
And then it leaked, and then he ended up turning it down. There's a part of me that thinks Desi would have gone to the Titans. Maybe just say if this was a couple of weeks ago, going, let it sit for a couple of weeks. If no one finds out about it, I'm in.
Yeah.
And just seeing how, if I believe it's...
If there's no, because apparently there's a lot of people like on boards and that up there that have big fucking mouths. But like that's,
in every club.
I think they're privately owned, right? Yeah. The Titans.
Are they?
So I hear allegedly, they come in there and try and fucking dictate terms on how they play.
Okay.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, Desi ain't having
fucking
that
good
shit.
male. Very good male too.
Desi ain't having that shit.
So... yeah, that's what I hear. A lot of the owners or whatever it is, the ownership have come down. Like they're trying to like fucking come down there and just think they got the right plays. And that's what I mean with Desi. Desi might have gone fucking. The only reason I'm coming up here is if these guys just back the fuck off.
And they must have done
test it.
They must have. I believe he tested him. Anyway, moving on to the game. Fafita, we talked about Mo Fodawaker, your dog of the week. Fafita was right up there. He was nearly mine. I will say. Yeah, Fafita took a bit of a dive on that play, but it's the rules and that's the way they've ruled it. Fucking every other single game except for a couple of fucking awful decisions. I also think that Ezra Mam no try was a no try. But I think there was like 3 occasions back to back where there was a no try for the Broncos, obviously with Reece Walsh. And then the Titans went up and they got disallowed a try as well, which was the right decision.
Yep.
And then they come back down, and I reckon when Ezra Mam, you could see it was Brian Kelly had his finger underneath the ball, and it's almost like the video referee got intimidated into all the boos that were happening around the stadium. That I think it was Casey Badger, and she gave it a try without even having another look. When you look at the replay, you could clearly see that his hand was underneath the ball. So I think the Titans were even better. I think it should have been 18-6. Yeah. And it gave the Broncos a sniff, and they still couldn't get the job done. So shout out to the Titans.
Yeah, their defence was outstanding. Because I thought watching that, I watched it a little bit delayed, and I saw the end. I'm like, fuck, because that cost me my whole. I would have got everyone right.
Oh yeah.
It's like fuck you. But there's a couple of little things there. But like Fafita, when we go back to Fafita, he was outstanding. He's grown into what everyone thinks he should have been.
Do you reckon I reckon he's come back with a new sense of
confidence, man.
He's come back with a different vibe and confidence.
Different swag.
And aura.
Big
aura.
swag.
He's got a different aura about him now.
Because he's done some big things in these 2 Origin games.
Yep.
You know, this time last year, he wasn't even in their 21.
Yep.
So just to have that transformation 18 months and be an integral part of a winning series, you've got to come back to club and be that dude. With no Tino as well.
With no Tino.
Huge, man.
And Carrigan, Payne, Flegler, all on the opposite side. Reece Walsh. The Reece Walsh situation's obviously been blown up heaps.
Apologise on IG last
he apologised to it. I think this game got the best of Walshy. Walshy's now got to go. He's got to come back. He's big series. Everyone in New South Wales hates him. Everyone in Queensland loves him. He's the pin-up boy. He's in all the highlights. He's chirping. He's now just got to find a way to just bring it all back down, centre himself, and just get on with the season.
And that's, it'd be good if someone had that conversation with him.
I'd imagine there would. I imagine there would be, but there were also like,
hey, don't think. Yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. We're sitting here as elder statesmen in the game, understanding where he should be. When you're in the NRL sort of bubble, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the people that he's going to have around him that would be doing that.
Yeah, I reckon a guy like Adam Reynolds was saying something to him.
I think so as well. But
even Paddy Carrigan was pulling him up in the game when he had that incident.
That's more I'm not talking about. It's the players, right? So guys like Carrigan, he's been where you are.
We're their best mates too.
You pump your brakes, kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know what relationship they got. But yeah, he looks like he is that dude. Yeah. He is it. And he looked frustrated more than anything. Yeah. And I've fucking talked to players and refs like that. You just, just annoying, right? As long as he didn't direct it at the ref, I don't know if I fucking believe him. I don't really care. But he apologised for swearing anyway.
I'll take him on his word. He played. He got his 50,000 views.
What did he say that the ref was so offended with?
He said, "F you, cunt."
That's pretty offensive. But I'll go back to when Josh Reynolds was at St George, right, and they kicked a massive uproar. They don't know who the ref was. Brought him over like a fucking 2-year-old.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and I'm like, what did you say? He just said fuck.
Yeah.
If you can take so much offence to that as a ref, to bring you over like a little sook, come here, like a fucking principal. He'd come here. I'm like, I thought that he had said something that was really despicable towards a ref for a ref to act like that. It's so fucking sensitive, these refs, man. Like you say one thing, you say one swear word. It's not all about you, mate.
But the one thing you've got to worry about is that it was heard, and then again, the message is, and look, this goes back to Cheese's one last year, right? The young kids and grassroots footy. So this is what they worry about. So this is why they've got to nip it in the bud. I will say, I believe Walshy was directing it because he was arguing, and I think because you know how he's mates with like fucking Brimo and all those boys. I think someone's chirped up from the Titans and he's gone, fuck off, cunt.
Yeah.
And then the ref's gone, wait a minute. And he goes, no, quickly run up because like, the reaction was so quick for me to believe that Walsh was going, no, that wasn't you.
Yeah.
I was getting chirped at from the Titans. So
most of the times I was like that as a player. Fuck you, whatever it is. And the ref might be in the middle there. And they never really took it that serious, man. Yeah. And because I'd always say, that's not you, sir. That's not you. Yeah. And there weren't such hot mics there. But I was constantly like apologising.
And the badge would go, no,
and I'm like, hey, wasn't it you, badge? I said, take it easy. It wasn't you guys. Because I'd always get this.
Yeah.
Like point at their mic, and I'm like, because I'm fucking firing barbs everywhere, right? Well, left, right, and centre. They're like, mate, you got to shut up. I said, the fucking mic's on. This is like the whole evolution of it. Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, can they hear me? Like, yeah, and it obviously got louder and louder and louder as the years went on. So I understand it, but the refs they take. Like, when I saw that Josh Reynolds thing, and when I found out what Grubb said, and the reaction from him, I'm like, I was like, you said something in a fucking kindergarten or something. You told someone to get fucked.
Yeah.
Like, come here. I'm like, talk to me like that. Fuck off.
All right, moving on to the Rabbits versus Cowboys. I don't have the score here, but I'll get it for you right now.
Cows pumped him, man.
The score was 29-6, I think.
Was it?
29-6.
I thought it was bigger.
29-6. It was 31-6. 2 points, Mace.
Sorry. I thought it was 40s, to be honest, but...
I tossed it, floated it.
Yeah, 20s, 30s, 40s.
Scott Drinkwater.
Yes.
You come on, you play gimme par. This happens a lot. NRL players... You film content with the skip. You go out, whether it's interviews, whether it's playing golf, teams go on a run, teams
get AMOM.
So I'm taking full credit. But I did mention on the show, which we'll see coming out, I like Drinky at fullback, man. Yeah. And if they're going to make some changes and they're going to start looking to the future for New South Wales, I reckon he's the most creative fullback they have. I think when you look at the main candidates, whether it's Turbo and Latrell, I think you're better off playing them in the centres because I think they're our best options at centre. And then you've got, obviously, Teddy, who's there. People were talking about Dylan Edwards, who's been unreal for the Panthers last couple of years. This will all
be going off next year, right? You're not thinking
next
game.
Year.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
not that silly to go game 3 now. Unless there's injuries. Unless Teddy's injured, then you can go at this.
Okay.
You can't get
I'd
at
consider
him.
it.
You can't get at him now, but just say give him a whole preseason. Just say like these chats with Teddy and going, we need you to start off good.
Yeah.
And not everything's a lock. We just lost 2 series in a row. This is the chat that should be happening.
Okay.
And then you can go all in.
Okay,
I reckon.
I don't mind that. Yeah. I don't mind that.
Because I think he deserves that respect, Teddy. He's like, all right, you've 5 or 6 series, maybe even more, been outstanding. We had 2 off games. But I like Drinky. I'm not even saying this because we met him up there, but like I think he's so talented.
He gives me Reece Walsh and Kalen Ponga vibes where he's got that like he's always
awkward,
on the ball.
Man.
He's playing. He's got very good skill out the back. He's the one that he generally makes the right decision on those 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s. Nice little short ball. I think New South Wales could do worse than either just indicating to him that he's on the radar, whoever the coach is next year. But I'd be seriously considering because he's had a really good 18 months, and it'll depend on what sort of the run the Cowboys can go on. And
let's talk about that. Are they going to go on a run?
And if you got the Cowboys at 150-1 about 4 or 5 weeks ago, you're travelling at the minute. You are travelling.
You're the best.
because there's something starting there. I didn't get on the Cowboys at the start of the year when they were 15s. But geez, when I looked at the tab and I seen 150 of the best, I said, geez, that's overs.
That's how you gamble responsibly,
That's
people.
how you do it responsibly. And you only got to chuck a little tenner on it to get a return. That's if you're
I reckon they're coming.
If you're doing it responsibly.
They're coming.
Yeah, I like my odds right now.
I got to say, I like Nanai coming back. He's just destroying teams on that right edge.
No Jason Tomalolo in this game as well.
Ruben Cotter. Like, everyone just looks mad.
Ruben Cotter's going to kick on. Val Holmes.
Taulagi, like Drinky, Phelps coming back. Like,
they're a danger,
man.
They're a danger.
Because there's a reason why everyone picked them easily to be in the 8.
Yeah.
And an easy, massive run like they did last year because the whole team is still there, right? So I'm like, something seemed to be missing at the start. I even know it's a few injuries here and there, but I don't know, maybe just coming off that huge season last year. Individually, they had huge seasons, right? They had their career best last year, Nanais and Taulangis and stuff.
Well, they're all still kids. They were just kids,
so it's just going with the whole roller coaster of the NRL.
Yep.
You know, and they had a bit of a down at the start. Now they're coming back up.
They were hit heavily by the World Cup as well.
Yeah, everything. Cotter, they're probably the number one team. That
Murray
really
Taulagi, Val Holmes all played for Australia. Played long into the series.
Taumalolo,
Tamalolo was Tonga.
Luch had a bit of a run with Samoa.
He ended up getting ruled out late because of the incident in the off season. Who else? No, Drinky wouldn't have been there. Chad wouldn't have been there. Tommy Dearden wasn't there.
I just think if you look at the effect and just how they got affected as players, because their form really dropped.
What about with South? Any concerns with them for the last couple of weeks?
No,
they'll be right.
We said last week when they go on runs, they go on big runs. I don't think they really care about I'm saying care is a big word. They do care, but they're going to lose some around Origin. They understood that.
Yep.
Latrell being out, Cody being out for a little bit, Cam Murray just
Jai Arrow.
Some big names there being missing from their link. And, you always walk out, you got Latrell next year, like, yeah, we're going to win. You got Blake Taff, young kid there. He's just like, fuck, let's just get through this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they still rely on their system and their culture, their winning culture and stuff like that, but they're not going to have that X factor when they go left that they're going to score like 70% of the time. I don't know.
He's got that presence about him.
They come back to the pack a bit, right? Because the Cody Walkers aren't, they're not going at it like that. And Cody's just coming back from injury. Quad injury, I think he had.
Yeah, he had a bit of a strain.
So he's not going to.
Campbell Graham missed a couple of weeks, but I dare say he would have been getting
timing. They'll make a good run, man.
Okay, you're not too. Yeah, so you think Souths will be okay? So do I.
Yeah,
so do I. Our grand final at the start of the year, though. Oh, actually, yours wasn't. Who's yours? Cowboys and who?
Cronulla.
Yeah, mine was Cowboys and Roosters. They're looking far from that at the moment. Jesus. The Raiders look far superior in this game. Obviously, the Roosters get that try to Joey Manu just before halftime and then the try straight after halftime. We'll get to the Raiders. I thought they were really good, led by Corey Horsburgh and Joseph Tapine, in particular in the middle when big pups went off. But what's the solution for Joey Manu, Mace? He runs for 300 metres, a try, unbelievable fullback last week.
At fullback, right?
At fullback. He plays right centre. He gets, 2 carries in the first 30 minutes before that opportunity off Kiri where he busts straight through the middle and then they kick to him to get him the ball and he scores. He's got to be involved more. He's got to get closer.
And how did they do that a couple of years ago when he was playing right centre and he was getting the ball like 20 touches?
Yeah.
Well, why was he doing that then and not now?
That's interesting, right?
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I'm looking at that.
That was just last year.
They made it work.
Yeah.
You know, Teddy would play wherever the hell he wanted to and how Teddy plays, and Joey would just pick the ball up from the middle of the field and just attack wherever he wanted to, right?
So
he was doing that. I'm not sure why it's happening now.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're getting dominated in the middle a fair bit at the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
because I was watching the game last night. We were calling it for SEN. You got the main view from right up in the boxes. And all the Roosters shape was so predictable. Every time I seen it, I was like, if I wanted to call the game, Jimmy's obviously the main caller. But if I wanted to, you could almost see whether he was going to hit the lead, whether he's going to play at the back. It wasn't until Joey Manu got some sporadic ball that was sort of off the cuff, off of an offload, that they even looked dangerous.
It's hard when the 9 and 7 is missing, that combination. 9, 7 and 6, that's how important your core players are. Like Kiri's been in and out. Sam Walker has been... he played probably 6 or 7 games. Yep. Who's the hooker? Like Brandon Smith's been out for so long. Turpin's in there. He's like a...
I think I seen the cheese after the game. He could be back next week.
Yeah. I just think they've just got some real young players in some proper core positions. Of course, you're going to have Hargraves and all these, Lindsay Collins and both Butcher brothers and... who's fucking... I didn't mind blank.
In the forwards.
Yeah, in the forwards.
We got Radley. You've got.
You got Radley back the last couple of weeks, but you can't rely on him all the time.
Lodge just seems to have fallen out of favour with him now. They're trying to move Lodge on. That Nafahu White has been doing a fair job for him, but I reckon they're really struggling for connection.
That's what it looks like. It's a disconnect. There's a disconnect.
I've got one for you. So you remember at the back end of Mini's career how they started floating him, putting him on the wing, and putting Roger at fullback a little bit. Why not flirt with Joey Manu at fullback for periods of the game and put Teddy on the wing?
Yeah, you could do that. You got to think outside the box here to get him going. They need to make a big a late run. They still got the players in there, but
because Mini was skipper too at the time, right? The same as what Teddy is.
Mini bought
Italian stallion at the back. He buys in for the betterment of the club. To put Roger, who was a young up and coming, probably the best option at the time, at fullback at the time. Not talking about whose careers was better at the time.
Yeah.
I think there should be some
bit of a case there. And it's not like something Robbo hasn't done before.
Yeah.
He's going to ask his best player to sort of step aside and maybe try and work that out a little bit to try and incorporate.
And I think it would just simplify it for Teddy and get his confidence back at the moment too.
Yeah.
Just kick returns, getting in there, scoots, not getting too caught up in good ball where sometimes he can get in the way a little bit when they're trying to get some of this shape and make sure the outside players are getting some ball.
It looks frustrating for a lot of players out there.
I think Teddy looks the most frustrating.
Yeah, and it's why isn't it working? It's supposed to be the best system in the comp. Why isn't it working? Something's missing. As I said, there's a lot of young players in some key positions in that team, and they're not fucking really driving it. You know what I mean? Remember we said this at the start of the year when we had fucking about 7 players we knocked off. They were all ball dominant players.
Yes.
Where's that gone?
Before we even got to Sammy Walker.
Yeah. There was 5 before Sammy Walker. Now we're
3.
Sammy Walker will probably be 2 right now.
Yeah.
That's how it's sort of come up.
Sandon Smith's in the top 4 now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So they really come down. It's
they're just really down on confidence across the board, aren't they?
Yeah, they might struggle to make the 8, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
They look like that.
And they got Manly this week, so that'll be an interesting game. Both teams are really struggling for confidence, so it'll be big to see who can bounce back. Just quickly on the Raiders, Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah, he's good, man. I was looking at Ruppiner, right? I've never seen a winger influence a team so much since fucking Wendell.
Yeah.
In the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, how he makes these massive plays, whether it be defensively or with the ball.
Big carries,
and massive
carries.
Big carries, some real fucking special defensive efforts. I'm like, I haven't seen this since Big Dell hit the scene around the late 90s and just killing it with the Broncos. But he's fucking amazing, man.
I interviewed him after the game too. I went up to him because did you see him try to do the tap in
And he cramped up.
And I said, fuck, what happened? Did you do your calf or something? And he goes, nah, just an old fella injury.
He's sitting there with his fucking cramp.
He goes, he got the double cramp. He goes, both.
He couldn't get up. It was
both hammies and both fucking and calves were cramped.
But his mindset.
But he's trying to make a play.
He's trying to make exactly. He makes these ridiculous plays, and he's always been like that since he hit the scene about 2007 with the Titans.
Yep.
He's fucking like that.
He went away and did a mission.
Yeah, bro. Like his story is amazing.
Yeah.
He's fucking man. He was like the best winger in the world for like 4 or 5 years down there in Canberra. I'm about like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 or something like that.
When you
Absolute
look at his career,
gun,
man,
bro.
he's I wonder how many
Hall of Fame stats, man.
How many games has Jordan Rups on? He'd be a 200 gamer, wouldn't he?
Over 200, sure.
And that's with 2 years away on a mission, a Mormon mission as well. Let's have a look.
Their back row is good. Forwards are good. Can they make a run, Canberra?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
They just because they've only got one style of footy, which is they'll make it
and a
difficult
couple
for
of
teams.
it'll be ugly. You don't want them in the first round.
You don't want to play them.
Because they can make a run. You know that.
Especially
the Hospra.
Especially if you're fifth. Just say the Warriors finish fifth and Raiders finish eighth.
You're like, this is going to be a yuck game.
Raiders would love to get some revenge.
Canberra, Cronulla game. Shark Park.
Yeah, Rups is 33. 2008 against the Titans. He's played 185. He's played 190 total games.
Oh, really? So he's shit.
He had five games at the Titans before he took off.
That was in 08? Oh, wait, yeah, because I was at the Roosters.
Yep. He went on a Mormon mission for 2 years. Apparently hits the golf ball really well too. I'm going to get him actually on.
Let's get down to Canberra or make Canberra come up here.
Yeah, no, we'll go down and see the boys. We'll take Big Papa. We'll go down and see Big Papa. He had an old boy injury as well. I caught up with him after the game as well.
Little calf?
I think it was a calf. Yeah, calf or hammy, one of the two. Really big show. Looking forward to previewing the games coming up on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us and see you at the preview.
Thank you.